All right, can everyone hear me? All right, sorry about that. That was a late start. Yeah, my micro or not my microphone, my webcam wasn't working. Sorry about that, guys. Um, yeah, sorry about that. Cut that into 15 minutes, but it's okay. We're here for the evening. We have a bunch of stuff lined up, and if you have any questions, just go ahead and pop it in the chat. I'll follow and look up anything you guys post up. But for now, let's just see what's up on the news. I did read or I did listen to about how Elon and Donald Trump just had let's say, bigger than a breakup fight. I don't know if I don't know if they can ever come back to what they were after this, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a little bit. Not too far. But see, I did also see that Tectone got banned. I don't even know why he's so hated. I don't know. All I know is that he's like a bald idiot, right? All I needed a proper explanation for why people dislike him, aside from being just like a outright idiot. But anywho, EV Escape crashes at. Oh God. So if anyone doesn't know who EVscape is, he's a very popular OS old school RuneScape content creator. He's very experienced in the content creation world, and oh man, you guys are probably gonna love this. Oh hang on. Ah, oh no, it's not working. Hang on, I know why. Because my headset wasn't online. Whoops.
We go to the
There we go.
No, dude,
if we
you're
go to
actually trolling, dude.
if
Dude,
we
you're
go-
actually trolling.
if we
You
go
are
to
trolling.
Can you shut the fuck
You
up?
are trolling.
If we go to the fucking breach tomorrow,
Oh God, I can show you the clip that triggered this clip, but oh fuck, especially because Pip is in this call.
and we don't fight,
You're
I'm gonna
trolling,
lose.
dude. You're
No,
trolling.
no, I've had a fucking enough of this shit.
Oh my God. Escape, you fucking king with the content creation. And let me show you what it's referring to. Oh God. So this is not the first time that he has done this. This is the second time. But it's been so long that it might as well be the first time for a lot of people who are watching this. Oh my goodness. Alright, let me just set something else up real quick. And not you, fuck off. Hey, Space to Grace. Sure. Why not? But anywho, this is what it's referring to.
Fucking message in game. You already have a lot of unfermented.
So the big thing about this is that everyone knows RuneScape. You hit the big 99. 92 is only halfway to 99. Anywho, he has been working on getting from level 1 all the way to 99, pretty much power leveling by making a bunch of wines. And you ferment them all at once, and what it does is it gives you a massive XP drop. And I'll let you guys figure out the rest.
wines. You should let them ferment before you're mixing it anymore. You are fucking kid. Pip Skylark is the reason I don't get my fucking 99 XP drop. Oh my.
Oh! Yeah, that shit was great. Good old Eevee-scape. And if you guys don't know what's going on right now, there's this big old school RuneScape content creation week pretty much going on, which is called Deadman Mode All Stars, I think, where it's like six teams of like five groups of people each. They're all content creators and they're all duking it out. Anyhow, it is very fun. I highly recommend you guys watch it. I highly recommend watching Skill Specs. He is a very entertaining buffoon. Anyhow, Helldivers came out with their new Warbond today, the Force of Law. Apparently, it's very reminiscent of Judge Dredd. We'll see. Oh, wait a minute. I just realized this is not right. Oh god. I just realized that the stream is off kilter. Ooh god. I am so sorry. Whoops. Alright. I think I should be able to see. Oh yeah. Is that Ark? Oh shit. Yo, an Ark Guardian dog. Ooh, this shit looks good. Oh, yep, new mecha skins. New vehicle skins, as is custom. Yeah, Force of Law. June 12th, so that's coming out. There it is. There it is, right here. Hold on. Let's go back. Go back. Oh. Yup. You know what? Nah, let's just do this instead. And if we look at the movie Judge Dredd, look at this. So it's not going to be reminiscent of the old form of the Judge Dredd, but new form. If you guys saw the latest, or not latest, but like the revamp movie, I think that released back in like 2015 or something like that. Let's check. Judge Dredd movie. Nope, not the 1995. No. 2012. Came out. Wait, what? This shit came out in 20. No. Fuck, I'm old. But holy fuck, was this a good movie? This shit was such a good movie. If you guys haven't seen this, this is such a good movie. Watch it.
Hey, what's up, guys? We're here.
But anywho.
So in case you don't...
Anywho. So if you guys haven't... Actually, before we continue on this, I need to find a different video. Because people are not necessarily as vehemently in support of the gays this month, or at least this time, and I wonder why. They are all roaching out. They're all not supporting them. I mean, it makes sense because corporations only did this because it was easy access and easy wins for people to be like, aha, look, I'm on your side, buy my product. But I mean, that's only if it's actually profitable and able to be within the social norm of discussion. But if it's not popular, then corporations and businesses won't do that. Because they're ultimately not for your cause. They're for money. And so, Asmon, Gold. Wait, no, no. Oh god, that's not the wrong one. That's not...
Let's actually see how
Here we go.
many
Here's the right
companies
one.
are taking advantage of and observing Pride Month this year, okay? Apple. Nope. Google? No change. IBM? No change. Microsoft? No change. Xbox? No change. Disney? No change. Target? No change. Starbucks? Even Starbucks roached out on the gays? Of all the people that roached out on the gays,
Yeah, Starbucks.
Starbucks to do
Yeah.
it? Damn.
You
Bank
know,
of America?
the
No
people
change.
who,
What
you
about
know,
Blizzard? No change.
you
What about
hire-
World of Warcraft? Also no change. It's not a work.
Oh god. Yeah, good golly. Let's just continue.
Yeah, but usually social media is managed every single day. Oh, the Overwatch has got to have it, right? There's no way. There's no way Overwatch didn't make any posts about Pride. There's no shot. Sesame Street, Bethesda? Yeah, let me see here. Wow, they didn't even post anything about it. Check LinkedIn. Looks like
No, I thought they
LinkedIn is
did.
not
I thought they
making
did.
any post about this at all. How about Bungie? Okay, Bungie also no.
Oh, and
change.
just, you know,
Perfect
this
day to
is
test the water.
a,
If
this
there's
is
any
4
backlash,
days
they can
ago.
pretend they had the
This
day
is
off,
4 days
which,
ago.
by the way, that's exactly what I said was going to happen. Pepsi, okay, Pepsi, no change. Ubisoft, good one. So there's not a single one of these things. Not a single one has changed anything. Okay, let's look at Mercedes-Benz. No change again. Jaguar, still no change.
Oh, and
Wow.
remember, Jaguar was the car commercial, or car company that did this. I mean, the music's kind of decent at least. Why does everyone look like they're all part of like some like Dune nobility family? I don't know what, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's like looking at a Dune or like an imperial family or something. Like 40K imperial family. I don't know what this, I don't know what to put. Wait, what? Wait, I was so distracted by this shit. I didn't even pay attention to the commercial. But yeah. A commercial about a car company that had like 2 seconds of the car.
It was a
But,
bit of a range of emotions.
Oh yeah. They're evolving. It is no longer LGBTQ. Or wait. Wait, what? Wait. I can't remember if it was LGBT or if it was LGBTQIA plus or some or this shit's so fucking complicated.
This morning, coming here and getting dressed for this flight. We are doing the first ever. Now, let me get that one straight because a few letters have been added to this one. 2S LGBTQIA plus flight.
What the fuck is this? Just so you guys can see. What the fuck is this?
Flight ever in Canada. Do I?
Thank you, Aspen. What the fuck? 2S LGBT. What in the hell? The term Two-Spirit became official in 1990 to describe Native American people who are believed to be blessed with both male and female. Huh? But didn't the person who like do this shit say that she found this shit in a dream? Could have sworn that she said something about that in a dream. All right, hang on. All right. Did the person who founded the Two-Spirit 2S movement? I don't know. Let's say movement. Back in the 90s. Ever say where the idea came from? Was it from her? Did it came down from her like familial knowledge or familial knowledge? Epiphany. All right, let's see what Grok says because I have no idea. At the third annual Intertribal Native American First Nations Gay and Lesbian American Conference in Winnipeg, Manitoba, by Elder Myra Laramie, a Cree woman. Okay. The term is a translation of Anishinaabe of the Anishinaabe. I'm not gonna do that. Phrase Nijmanidoag, meaning two spirits, which refers to individuals embodying both masculine and feminine spirits with indigenous cultural contexts. Okay. So it wasn't an epiphany, but rather a deliberate reclamation of indigenous linguistic and cultural frameworks to replace the colonial and derogatory term What the fuck is this? Birdetch? Birdake? What is birdache? Early European designation for American Indians who did not conform to Western. Huh. Does Wikipedia have anything on this? Not that. Oh, here we go. Birdache. Plural birdaches. Anthropology is now dated, now offense. Oh, it's an ethnic slur. Oh, among Native Americans, a person who identifies with any of a variety of gender identities which are not exclusively those of their biological sex, or aka like a trans. Okay, just someone who doesn't conform to simply, oh, I'm not majority feminine or masculine spirited. Okay. Anywho, there's no definitive record in the sources of Laramie explicitly saying whether or not the idea stemmed from her familial teachings or from her culture. Huh? Drawn from existing culture and linguistic heritage. Okay. Interesting. I thought she. Wait. I thought I remember someone saying about a dream. Oh. The term came to her in a dream. Right here. Damn. Okay. All right. Let's just go back.
Let's actually see.
You know what? No.
Let's actually see how many companies are
Hey, everybody,
taking
Adam.
advantage of and observing.
There we go. There we go.
Here we go.
It was a bit of a range of S, LGBTQ,
Wait a minute. Sorry there, Asman. My bad.
IA plus flight ever in Canada. I do identify with the progress flag. There's something in
Does this mean that like the plane doesn't fly straight or something like that? Or what's the difference between this and a straight flight? Like, this doesn't even make any sense.
those.
I mean, like, what the fuck is this even for? Is this just to be like, hey, I'm the first guy of this type? Is this just like a, is this just a first comment poster, pretty much? Just like a, haha, I'm the first. Okay, yeah, you know what? I think
bit of
that's what
joy
it is.
having the opportunity to do this flight today.
Features our very first.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. What
So
the
it a
fuck
bit
was
of
that
joy
flag?
Having the opportunity.
What do the, what are the brown and black colors mean? Huh? What? I'm so fucking confused. What? What the fuck? What? What the shit? Non-binary, intersex, asexual, bisexual, pansexual, lesbian. A lesbian flag. Gay men's pride flag. Why did you guys differentiate homosexual with lesbian and gay? Don't they just mean the same thing? I mean, you know, like relatively speaking, essentially the same thing. Oh, I'm sorry. You guys couldn't see it. Here we are. Let's go back up. I'm sorry about that, guys. Here we have Essentially the pride flag, which I mean everyone knows. Then we have this 6-colored pride flag, which no one's really gonna make any fucking difference about. Then we have a brown one here, which is apparently called the 6-color. No, Philadelphia. Huh? So brown and black just means people of color? Why not just signify just a PP? Okay. What? So then what do all these mean? This is like the most final boss of the flags. Was revised to incorporate the intersex in this. What? Every year, is this shit just gonna keep getting revised and edited? Damn.
To do this flight today.
Features our very first all 2S LGBTQIA+ crew.
The safety and the well-being of all the passengers on board rests in our hands. So it doesn't matter who they are, what they represent. I'm equally responsible
Sure does. Sure seems like it does.
for all of them.
2S. 2S stands for two-spirited. You used to call this multiple personality disorder. Okay, people aren't going to believe this. 2S, a term used by some indigenous peoples of North America to describe a person who
Oh, boy.
embodies both masculine and feminine
I guess I didn't even have to look it up. Thanks, Asmund.
spirits or genders. The woman who came up with 2S admitted that she had it from a dream that she had.
The grandfathers came in a dream.
There we go.
And the greatness
There
of
we go.
true spirit. 7 orbs of light. They came, one after the other. 7 of them.
One straight because a few letters have been added to
What the fuck?
this one. 2S LGBTQIA+ flight ever in Canada.
This needs to stop. You need to stop adding letters. This is sounding like a router password. This is
Okay. Anywho, going back to the main topic at hand. All of this was just to be a segue into what is now known, or what is commonly known as Men's Health Awareness Month. Men like to kill themselves because we are the sad. And when we are the sad, we sometimes look at the end as a glad. And so it's nice to, look up and hit up. Just make sure all the men in your lives are doing well. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. That's all. I wonder if there's a female's mental health awareness month. And there's not one. Well, I guess it's not bad enough for women to need one. So, I guess that's pretty good for y'all.
No, June is
Although maybe May, because Father's Day is in June, and June is Men's Health Awareness Month. So, but by that logic, I guess we could have Women's Health Awareness Month as May, because it's the same month as Mother's Day. There we go, English.
Men's Health Awareness Month, or also known as Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. This is an event that's been around for over 3 decades at this point, and it seems like every year.
Wait,
event...
3 decades? Holy shit! How the fuck have I not ever heard about this shit? Except for on the internet. What the hell? And I've only heard about this shit in opposition to all the Pride celebration being done on the month. Why have I never heard about this?
Gets more and more popular, and of course, with more popularity and more people posting about this on social.
I just realized his eyes, the irises are hearts. The eyes are And the irises are little hearts.
There's also a bigger spotlight and people
Alright.
who are very upset about people trying to focus on men's mental health in the month of June. We're seeing this in the VTubing space and in gaming spaces as well, where people are very angry because
Oh,
they believe
no.
a focus on men's mental health awareness in the month of June is casting a shadow over Pride Month. Now, we'll get into the example.
If anything, hasn't Pride Month been overcasting and overshadowing fucking Men's Health Awareness Month? Like, I literally just said how much I have not heard of this except for being online or in the past couple of years in direct opposition to Pride. Does that mean that this shit was suppressed? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think people just simply supported the other thing more. Like, they supported Pride more than Men's Health Awareness Month. But if you think about it, it's like for the past like many years, the Democrats' message has always been like pro feminism, really just like less men's support and more constant stretching out the female support. And so if that's the case in their own, let's just leave it at that. Let's continue.
Of all that happening in those related scenes, but first I'll give my usual spiel on this topic. To everyone watching this video, I think this month is a great opportunity to check in on the men in your life, to make them feel like they're not invisible, and to make sure they know their mental health matters. Now, to the men watching this, I think there's many great things about being a man and masculine traits and all those things, but there's one very unfortunate thing that's been pervasive throughout society, and that is telling men that their mental health doesn't matter and that they're not supposed to speak about it. But it is important to speak about it. You got to be your own advocate for yourself, and it's not a one-size-fits-all type solution. There's many.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like men have namely been ostracized, namely because our issues have been put aside as not necessarily not as important, but more of a we will get back to this when we can get back to it when it's convenient. But convenience never is really convenient to go back to address, now is it? That's why it's convenient to put away, to disregard.
Resources out there that you can use, whether it's talking to someone or engaging with something or making changes in your life. It's all important to try, even if it's a bit scary, because your mental health matters because, well, you matter. Now, finally, to the women watching this, there's a very small suggestion and a powerful one I can give you for this month. Whether it's your boyfriend, your husband, your father, any man in your life that you care about, you can do a very small gesture, and that is buying them some flowers. This will stun lock them. They will be very happy. It'll make their day.
Holy shit, yes. Ladies, to the like one person who's maybe going to be watching this VOD, no guy, unless he is like a 10 out of 10 and you stole this man from like the clutches of like 17 other girls, that guy that you stole, he will have gotten flowers at some point. But for the vast majority of all guys, if you give them flowers, they will remember that shit for the rest of their life. That is how impactful even a fucking active complimenting a man just for like, and I'm not talking like just, you know, walking by and be like, oh hey, you look nice today. I mean that will keep, you know, lift up his spirits. But what I mean is like a genuine compliment from someone that they know of, right? So like a normal pedestrian walking down the street, meeting up another pedestrian, be like, "Hey, I think you look good." That's a point on like a permanent chart that he can always call back to. But what I'm referring to is like a good like let's say it's a good close female friend, right? And they just say, I think you look really good today. Show off your arms or something, right? Like, because the person who gave that comment is in some relation to him, personable, that makes that comment even more impactful, makes the guy that much happier. It goes, oh, holy shit. This person that I know actually thinks that my forearms look amazing. Holy shit. And like it's gonna go into a fucking positive feedback loop for fucking weeks. You guys do not understand. Like getting a proper fucking compliment, a genuine proper fucking compliment will supercharge that dude's battery power for like weeks. It is the biggest confidence booster ever.
They'll probably remember it for months, if not years.
And with
you
the
don't have to
flowers.
give them anything expensive. They won't know the difference anyways.
No, we
this
won't.
is something small that you can do that will make their day. And this has to do with the whole moniker that people say every month or every time Men's Health Awareness Month comes up, where there's a sad fact that most men will never receive flowers until the day of their funeral. And I think that's a very sad fact in some.
Yeah, let's just go on.
Thing that can be a really nice gesture to do during this month. Okay, so now that we got that and all the fluff out of the way, let's get into the video for today. So right now in the VTubing scene, there's a lot of
Celestium, Christian VTuber. A few of my detractors don't think I'm serious about men, but they did point out that we should actively support men. For the remainder of the month, I will dedicate my Sunday streams to raise money for Movember on GoFundMe while inviting some brothers in Christ to come talk.
people participating in Men's Health Awareness Month, including people like this raising money for related causes. That's really great. And you have this post from Banana Juju, who we've talked about, like...
Banana Juju was, I think, the VTuber who got in trouble by a bunch of Twitter people because she had dreads, but she had blonde hair. And not like fucking black skin. That's it. So both of them made comments about it being Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. To all the men out there, wherever you are, whatever you're doing right now, take care of yourselves. You guys do not have the same outlets or support like other groups for your problems, and to this day, society still has a lot of work to do when it comes to this. Statistics paint a clear picture here. Yes, they fucking do. Moving on. You guys are taking the constant hits while staying quiet, so grab your loved one or friend and tell them what you have on your mind or what kind of problems you might go through. There's nothing weak about that, and it takes the load off your shoulders. I always have to remind my hubby about that. Yeah. The thing is, most guys, and this is excluding excluding guys who have like a genuine like broship, and like goes beyond just simply gaming bros, but like bros that you guys grew up with or have real connections with, and it's a ride or die type of situation where most guys don't have that type of friendship to really unload and speak freely about their opinion without being even somewhat judged nowadays. And I think it's namely due to the fact that people are afraid to really speak about what they really feel. Especially with how terminally online society has become, and the lack of third place spaces for people to kind of go and convene and find normal in-person engagements. And so as a result of a decrease in third third spots or third part places, pretty much. More and more are becoming terminally online, thus exacerbating these type of mentally unwell issues or mentally unwell tendencies. But again, I'm not saying that even if you did meet up in person, that you would just simply be able to unload. But the possibility and likelihood of you having the opportunity to do so by creating an environment that you and your confidant can feel comfortable in could be much more so. Namely because the human factor of being in person with another human being really draws out that potential. Whereas it being just simply over Discord or Skype or Zoom, if you tell me your life story and you're crying or something, I can't like reach over through I can't reach through the webcam to like give you a pat on the shoulder or like hug you. And that's the thing that I'm talking about. The we can mimic human intimacy through the internet, but until the physical media that we have can draw out the fullest application of that, until then, it's only gonna be just falsehoods and very limited. And on these type of maybe not genuine, but as deep or as truly impactful relationships become more and more shallow, these type of issues are going to only exacerbate and create and become bigger. And it's only impacting men on scale for now because men mostly have the societal bear a bunch of the societal drudgery weight upon it. But I mean, just simply beyond that, there's less recourse for men than there are for women. It just simply is. And so all this is simply saying is just give a hand out for those who you think might need it, and let's just try to be a little bit kinder to everyone else, or at least just for the month. The moment it hits July, go ahead and call them call them whatever you want again. I'm fucking kidding.
3 times in the last 2 months because people love to try to cancel her.
Hopefully
and
you
they're
guys
doing
understand
it once
that I'm
again
fucking kidding.
with this post that I think is a really nice one, talking about Men's Mental Health Month,
God.
where she says, to all the men out there, wherever you are, whatever you are doing right now, take care of yourselves. You guys do not have the same outlets or support like other groups for your problems, and to this day, society still has a lot of work to do when it comes to this. Statistics paint a clear picture here. You guys are taking the constant hits while staying quiet. So grab your loved one or a friend and tell them what you have on your mind and what kind of problems you might go through. There's nothing weak about that, and it takes the load off of your shoulders. I always have to remind my hubby about that. I am thinking of all of you hard workers / family men / strong supporters for our female craziness and backbone of society. Take care. I am thinking of you. And I love you guys. So a very nice post. What could possibly go wrong? Oh.
The Twitter police.
This is Twitter, and people are insane. So you had this quote right here. I'll point.
Is there a point to this month's theme other than women just collecting sympathy? Bro, what about all the people who are doing fucking pride flag fucking profile pic shit? Weren't they doing the exact same thing?
This one out first, saying, is there a point to this month's theme other than anything on Twitter without upsetting people like this?
God.
This gives like really strong male feminist energy right here, where they're like, yeah, those evil men.
Don't people just this is such a worthless post. This is just a oh hey shit, what's the word for it? just this person's a fucking dead anchor poster. There's really nothing that is added to this except for a fucking dead weight. It's an anchor poster. That's what it is.
Ooh, down with
An
them.
anchor.
And while they're doing it, this one right here that got a lot of attention from another VTuber
Babe, a new based VTuber grift just.
saying, "Babe, a new based VTuber grift."
Wait, this is from their own
Again,
from a
people on
VTuber.
Twitter not knowing what grift
Are you a VTuber or are you just a fat anime watcher?
means whatsoever, implying that
The reason being because if you were not fat, you would post a picture of yourself. But if you are fat, you don't.
Banana Juju is lying.
I don't
about
really
this shit's
know,
an
but generally the fucking adage is kind of true. I've been online for fucking 25 years. People who are fatter generally tend to hide behind a fucking cartoon image.
actually care
It just
about
is.
men's mental health and that she's doing this for some sort of
Not
a
all the
profit.
time,
That's
but,
what
like,
a grift would be. But now
65,
basically
70%
everything
of the
on
time.
Twitter is a grift. Caring about men's mental health, that's a grift. Breathing makes you a breath grifter at
Breathing grifter, pay for your air.
this point. Very
Wait a minute. Breathing. Wait a minute. That reminds me of the fucking Lorax air cans.
Well, here goes another lame Saturday.
Dude, I don't think so.
Huh? Hey. Man.
God, it's like an old school fucking beer commercial. The moment they hit up the fucking bottle cap, a bunch of girls walk in. What the fuck?
O'Hare Purified Air. Freshness to go. Please breathe responsibly.
Oh god. Oh wait, was it Despicable Me? No. What? I thought this shit was for Lorax. Wait. The Lorax Ted was outside of town?
Well, here goes another lame
Yeah, so this is for the Lorax. Yeah, okay, I was right. I just wanted to be accurate in my call out. Or
weird
callback.
stuff, and people would go after this person. This is obviously a very stupid thing to say. And responding to the criticism, they said this. I
thought June was all about pretending to care about gay people, but I guess that's out of fashion now. It's just shitpost. Don't overthink it. Sure.
June was all about pretending to.
I'm trying to look into a charity that deals with mental health, so maybe that I can run a charity stream. I've never done a charity stream before, so if you have any pointers. Kitsu. Do you know that June is Men's Mental Health Month? U.S. Creepy. Men's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Care about gay people, but I guess that's out of
It's the new
fashion now.
pride thing.
It's just a shit post. Don't overthink it. Ah, yes, I was just pretending to be stupid. Yeah, I don't buy it. I look at.
Listen, man. They were only pretending to be retarded, so that way they could claim that they weren't being retarded, unless the thing wasn't popular. Unless the thing that they said wasn't as popular as they initially thought, then they can claim that they were being retarded. Which
the replies and what they're showing here too. And clearly this person really is angry about this and thinks it's some sort of a grift when people say it, and they just got caught.
everything's a fucking grift now. Earning money. You're a money grifter. Why? Because you need to live. Oh, does that mean I'm a life grifter? I need a grift on life, so what the
Stupid, and now they're trying to backpedal and say this is all a joke.
Good God.
But this is the examples they're providing here that make absolutely no sense. Beginning with this post.
It's kind of like the equivalent of like what is it? Slop being applied to fucking everything. Or like how like many years ago everyone was calling each other fucking kid, even though like it was a bunch of like 30-year-old dudes calling like a bunch of 20-year-old dudes kids, and vice versa.
Goes from Kitsu, where she's saying she's trying to look into a charity that deals with men's mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Nice post, but of course.
Oh, and
they
then
have
also
Kate
New
and
Dachi.
some other VTubers
Dachi.
as well. Fairness, they do the most predictable thing ever, and that's
Beer gone, sun is up, I'm going to bed. Some of you are insightful, most of you are retarded. Looking forward to the notice. Thank you all for entertaining me. Expedition 33 stream later. Drop a follow if you have a sense of humor or just like to argue.
promote themselves.
If this was a fucking convoluted way of trying to just say, hey, I'm funny, follow me, you deserve to be fucking roasted because that was a terrible fucking call.
Yep. They share their own Twitch account, hoping to cash in on the outrage they have produced.
And only 4,000 viewers. Wait, add it. Holy shit. 7:50 a.m. You're twittering or you're posting on X at 7:50 in the fucking morning. God damn.
And if they're going to sell, you can use code REV30 to get 30% off your total advanced GG order. Use that link in the pinned comment to get here line right here. Very many different options, including t-shirts as well as shorts.
Skipping this.
Okay, so going back to some other tweets here, there was a very bizarre.
Oh, yes. This was big because Rainbow Six Siege, Ubisoft, who used to constantly go on and harp about in the support of the gays and the bisexuals and the trannies. They were one of the first game companies to actually post anything this for this year's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Yes, I fucking said it right that time. Anywho, they were the first company to actually support and put out a post for Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And here we'll watch.
Moment in the gaming post that will flabbergast you. They say this: it's okay to take off the mask. Strength and vulnerability are not mutually exclusive. June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. We'd like to encourage you to reach out to your friends, ask them how they're doing, pick up a game together, look out for one another. You matter with this artwork right here. I'm flabbergasted, like I said.
Yeah.
Everyone would have expected
it seems like there's going to be a new trend here where we slowly see
1st,
a reduction in pride support and more for overall men's support.
But they didn't do that this year.
It really seems like support for actual men and hobbies seems to be back on a rise ever since kind of like the defeat and the continued defeat of the fucking Democrats. And unless they get their act together, this is only going to be one step.
Along with a lot of other companies, I think there's a message being sent about virtue signaling, companies virtue signaling about this sort of stuff. But yeah, Rainbow Six Siege coming out and supporting Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. You know what? Ubisoft and these accounts have made a lot of mistakes, but I will give them credit where credit is due. I think they hired someone new for their social media campaign here, and they said, instead of appealing to activists on Twitter who don't buy our games anyways, let's appeal to our actual target audience here, men.
Gee, it's almost as if it's not a fucking retarded idea to, actually throw out support for the fucking people who play your game. Who knew? But anywho, you guys kind of get the general gist
Ubisoft,
of this.
Is that really?
But anywho, over the weekend, we saw Ukraine launching a fucking baller ass gank on Russia. And what they did is most likely actually going to go into the fucking history books for a most spectacular Trojan horse esque type of just not even ambushing, just tactical outright maneuvering. Because what they did is fucking masterclass. They essentially, to cut it short, is the Ukrainians got a bunch of drones and retrofitted I believe a shipping container, and modded it so that way only the top part of the, so if you had okay, so if this was a shipping container, the normal doors are like over here, right? For where people walk up to and open and, you know, pull stuff out of, right? Now, what Ukraine did was they put the drones and put a special compartment up here, so that way if people open the side doors, they would just see normal fucking shipping container. But there was a slide activation hatch up here, where if it slid open and just all the drones were individually stacked in a row layer on the very top that couldn't be accessed until a special activation was given out. But the genius part of it, this entire planning, was it was driven by Russian trucks all the way up right next to the fucking military air bases, pretty much before they actually activated. Oh my god. And I mean, of course Russia responded absolutely aggressively, as anyone would after they had been attacked in such a humiliating fashion. But we are not talking about the after effects. We are talking about specifically this military operation that Ukraine pulled off.
Share of spectacular attacks, this may turn out to be the most spectacular of them all. On Saturday the 1st of June, Ukraine unleashed multiple swarms of low-cost drones to attack Russian air bases. For the next few hours, social media was alive with video feed taken from the drones themselves as they went crashing into aircraft, sending flames.
Also, can you believe that in this day and age we can actually see fucking kill cams? This is fucking nuts. Kill cams are only a fucking joke concept thing just to understand how you died in games like Call of Duty and Counter-Strike. But now you actually see the kill cam of whomever is gonna be fucking exploded by the last about what 5 or 10 seconds of transmission from a fucking drone.
High into the sky. Described like that,
fucking
events
nuts.
of Sunday sound important, but not overwhelmingly so. After all, Ukraine has hit Russian air bases before. As recent as March, a drone swarm caused a huge explosion at Engels Air Base. But what made Sunday's operation so transformative, to the extent that we feel comfortable calling it historic, are not the broad brushstrokes of the attack. Instead, it's the specifics that make this worthy not just of a special episode on this very channel, but also of academic papers and military theory lectures for decades to come. Because
thank you, Simon.
Lies over 450 kilometers from Ukraine, some of the bases hit on June the 1st.
Yes, this was not just a simple attack. This was a coordinated multi-front trap. And this is going to end up with them targeting, I believe, a submarine.
Over 4,000 kilometers away. And nor was this a singular attack. It was a combined operation that saw 4 airfields hit simultaneously in different corners of the country. More to the point, it was carried out with low-cost drones smuggled.
So here we have the drones with what I believe to be are just like basic C4 plastic explosive packages, but the way that they got smuggled in was, as I said, the roofings of the shipping containers. And here below, down here, you see the actual roof of the shipping container slid off, and then here they're just flying.
It was carried out with low-cost drones smuggled into Russia inside commercial long-haul trucks. Drones that activated when they neared their...
There we go. Look at that. All stacked up perfectly so that they could all fly out vertically up once the entire container has stopped. Because this shit would not be possible to fly up out of if this shit was moving.
Targets and launched a surprise attack.
Because, I mean, think about it. If this shit is in the process of moving, then the moment these things go up above wherever the wind shear is being blocked off, essentially, if this is the drone and this was the shipping container, once it got above this line, I mean, hell, even at this point, it would be feeling the wind current riding over it, pushing down on it. But the moment it got up to here, these little, not ailerons, fucking rotors. The rotors would catch the air wind and then immediately be pushed backwards by it, effectively hitting into the back, like container rack, and then causing it to, you know, either break the rotor, fail to launch, or just have an outright risky launch. There's no good to actively move this shit while it's in the act of being transited.
That no one could foresee.
What the fuck was that?
That activated when they neared their targets and launched a surprise attack that no one could
What the
foresee.
fuck is this?
It's this detail, more than anything, that will have war planners in Washington and Beijing lying awake at night. The now very real image of a swarm of cheap drones emerging from a hiding place near a strategic port or base before wreaking havoc.
Oh, and just so anyone knows, even the American military bases wouldn't be able to stop this. Not unless we had an aforementioned hint about a possibility of a drone surge. And do we have anti-drone technology? Of course we do. But that doesn't mean we have them necessarily set up at every single military installation all across America. Would we have done that and prioritized that over on foreign and international bases? Of course. Of course. It makes sense. Because they're most likely to be targeted first, if we ever did break out into war. So the likelihood of this shit actually working on home turf, home soil, is scaringly high. Because it's kind of like being in a house, right? The main defense of the house, the barrier, the door, is at the furthest point of the house. Everything else inside the house is vacant space for you to occupy in, kind of like a country. All the fortifications are at the border, right? So if something just kind of smuggled and got in its way through, that's like having a bomb go off in the middle of your bedroom, right? Like, the likelihood of you fucking stop, like, come on. Like, it's just not gonna happen. Like, I'm sorry. And as much as I do find the military, American military, to be highly, highly impressive, counter-drone warfare techniques, I have not seen massive change in infantry doctrine. I do see a lot of speculation on how they would respond to it themselves, but not actual doctrine passed down into infantry like infantry understanding. Now, I could be wrong, and I hope I am wrong. And if I swear to God, I hope I am wrong. But if I am wrong, please show me some information so I can ease myself. Good golly. But
And
anywho,
make no mistake, what happens over the weekend to Russia could just as easily happen to China, or indeed to America.
Yep.
This will be the focus of the latter part of today's video. How
And this almost seems like a Pandora's box where a lot of agencies, and when I mean agencies, I mean like the three-letter agencies like CIA, FBI, and I'm just referring that to the U.S. ones. International stuff like Mossad or KGB most likely have theorized this possibility and theorized the possibility of what we could do to get like a heavy payload get closer to our target. And unfortunately, like throwing a rocket or a missile is just too direct, too easy to spot, too traceable back to the home country. Hence, things got smaller, things get harder to trace, harder to keep track of. And when things get harder to keep track of, there's an air of plausible deniability that can be thrown around and that can be utilized to protect yourself. And you let's just leave it at that. I'll get way too far into a fucking hole.
entered a world in which the warnings of drone experts weren't heeded in time, in which a $600 device could take out a $1 billion strategic asset, and there isn't really that much we could do to stop them. First, though, let's back up a little bit and explain what actually happened on Sunday. Well, the short answer is that Russia got humiliated. To quote Jan...
Yeah. Yeah. From yeah. Yeah, and remember, kids, when he's calling back to the Russian aviation since 1941, that's in calls to Germany invading Russia and absolutely steamrolling fucking Russia for weeks. And yet even then, apparently this was not as bad as that. This was as bad as of a day for their aviation as that.
As John Helen of the Blackbird Group writing on X, it's likely that Sunday was the worst day for Russian aviation since 1941. And that's a bold claim, but it's a claim that's likely to be borne out. Now, according to Ukraine's security service, its drones hit dozens of Russian heavy bombers across airfields in Murmansk in the Arctic, Irkutsk in Siberia, as well as Ivanovo and Ryazan in western Russia. Overall, Kiev claims 41 bombers were taken out with a combined cost of $7 billion. Now, any numbers supplied by Ukraine, obviously a little bit suspect. And we should point out that no one else seems to believe that a full third of Russia's strategic bomber fleet has been wiped out. Western intelligence officials told the New York Times that they believe up to 20 craft were destroyed or severely damaged, while Andriy Kovalenko, an official with Ukraine's National Security and Defense Council, claims it was more like 13. Now, at the time of writing, on Tuesday morning, we can't say for sure what the true total is. Open source intelligence analysts using satellite imagery have counted 60 U-95s taken
Oh my god. Was I talking for... Oh god. Alright, forget this. We're going on.
Out with another
Forget
damage,
this.
4 Tu-22Ms and 1 AN-12. Although it's worth pointing out that we're still waiting on imagery from other air bases, so that total could change. Indeed, it could have changed by the time it's ago. But look, even if the final count still comes out 12 craft destroyed,
Fuck.
that wouldn't change the fact that this will have a huge impact on Russia. These were not ordinary warplanes that Ukraine targeted, but strategic bombers that are in short supply. Here's how The Economist explains it. Russia has relatively small numbers of strategic bombers, probably fewer than 90 operational Tu-22, Tu-95, and newer Tu-160s in total. Many of the aircraft are old and no longer produced. The last Tu-22M3s and Tu-95s were made more than 30 years ago.
Yeah, they're not gonna be able to properly get those shits fixed up in time. This is the equivalent of us getting our B2 fleet getting bombed to shit and us never having improved on that tech. And assuming that we had never fucking improved or even continued on our fucking bombing air wing production. But that is the only, like, maybe like the best way to explain how bad of a damage this is. Like, they do not have the capability of recreating the majority of these aircraft. Also because of all the numerous restrictions that they're already under. But anywho.
In other words, the process is so time-consuming and expensive that Moscow can't just shrug and go, we were due for an upgrade anyway. This is an attack that is simply going to take years to recover from. As the founder of Frontelligence Insight noted on X, losing even 10 of these planes would be a serious blow. Now, this matters beyond the context of just the Ukraine war. These bombers aren't just designed to carry the cruise missiles raining death and destruction on Ukrainian cities. They're also intended to carry nuclear weapons, and as such, they're a part of Russia's nuclear deterrent. To quote Warzone founder...
Ooh, so you're saying Ukraine just took out essentially what is a portion of Russia's nuclear wing. That actually explains the severity of their aggressive retaliation after this operation took place over the weekend, because it was comically aggressive, because I understated how impactful these fucking airplanes were, but now it all makes sense.
Just lost an unknown number of strategic aircraft that are directly tied to validity of their nuclear detection.
This is exactly like as if we lost 50% of our nuclear and radiological detecting aircraft. This would be a fucking massive blow. And for those who don't know, we detect nuclear radiological shit for other countries, and we are the providers of this information. And so it's just straight up just like the losing of an important action that you are unable to replace at this point, especially during wartime capabilities.
The strategic nature of the effects of this attack,
they're never going to be able to
uncharted territory.
They're never going to be able to
turn out that Western
heal from
intelligence
that.
assessments are right, and 20 of these craft are out of action. It would make it extremely difficult for Russia to keep using its long-range aviation.
Or arguably 1/3, assuming the report from the Ukrainian defense minister was correct.
To both bomb Ukraine and keep up its nuclear deterrent patrols against Europe, America, and Japan. Even the loss of just 12 would result in some really tough choices. And look, as we mentioned earlier, it's not so much what happened that makes this story so important as how it went down. And it's here where things start to get really rather ingenious. Known as Operation Spiderweb, the attack took 18 months to orchestrate. Ukraine's SBU Secret Service managed to smuggle wooden cabins into Russia with drones concealed within the roofs and have them delivered to their destinations by legitimate haulage firms whose drivers were completely unaware of their role. For those...
Yeah, I feel bad for the fucking drivers. I have been told that some of the Russian trucks were driven by actual Ukrainian operatives, actual like Russian-based Ukrainian operatives, and they managed to pull out and just walk away. But that's from what I've read, only a few of the drivers. The rest of them were legitimate fucking Russian truck drivers.
Into thrilling tales of
I really
special
hope they
operations,
don't do
the
anything
rules
to
that
them.
will take be written on this, and
That
the
sucks.
legwork of setting up legitimate seeming companies involved in building cabins is going to be pretty great. For our purposes, though, the key point is that the SBU managed to get hundreds of drones within easy distance of key Russian air bases without anybody suspecting a thing. Until the moment the cabin
Oof.
rooms retracted and the drones started flying, no one in any position of authority even vaguely suspected the trucks were anything other than normal traffic. And it's here that we return to our bold claim from the beginning, that this was a truly historic moment in warfare. Because if Ukraine can suddenly deploy scores of drones from a hiding place to take out vital Russian kit, then, well, so can anybody.
Yep, and that's a scary thing, because Russia was already on the fucking lookouts for anything Ukrainian, and they managed to not only smuggle one crate, but a fuck ton of crates to not only one base, but I think 4 or 5 different bases, and took out over 30 aircraft. And this was when Russia was fucking looking for shit. We are not in a wartime economy. We are not in a wartime period. So, if can you imagine all the indirect action and pressure that could be applied to just simply the United States by just one rogue perpetrator of a highly wealthy antagonistic nation that didn't like us? You know, just one rogue nation. Oh God, fuck. It wouldn't even be that hard in America too. Like that's the scary thing. America's really more God fuck.
And that is a bit of a massive problem because it's not just Russia that leaves its extremely expensive aircraft out in the open or in hangars that haven't been hardened against attack, but also America. As a recent Hudson Institute report bemoaned, that includes on US bases at strategic locations in the Pacific, bases that would be key if conflict ever erupted.
And just an FYI, for anyone who doesn't give a shit about like UFOs and such, I believe it was I think it was a USS battleship or a USS frigate ship that was intercepted and then overwhelmed with over like 200 like rogue like non-IFF detected drones. It overwhelmed even just like the capabilities of what they could do in terms of even with their CIWS cannons, because they were so high up. And so if these were these quote unquote drones actually had like explosive payloads on them, I mean, goodbye our boats. And this was theorized to have been UFO craft overwhelming and overblitzing US military capabilities. So if we just simply extrapolate, you know, massive amount of targets suddenly appearing all haphazardly being trying to dodge and avoid anti-air flak, it's not impossible for one of them to hit the fucking boat and go boom. So by that fucking logic, we can extrapolate down, and if let's say 200 highly advanced UFOs overwhelmed a fucking USS frigate, then 2,000 cheaply made little fucking car bombs will do something. Unfortunately,
China. This is the paradigm shift that we saw on Sunday. The realization that predictions of hidden drones or missiles suddenly emerging from civilian vehicles to devastate American assets are no longer the domain of overexcited futurists, but a real and present threat. Tom Shugart of the CNAS think tank conjured this eerie scenario. We'll quote him. Imagine on game day, containers at rail yards, on Chinese-owned container ships in port or offshore, on trucks parked at random properties, spewing forth thousands of drones that sally forth and at least mission kill the crown jewels of the US Air Force.
Yeah, and as I said, we most likely do have anti-drone tech, but the majority, or hell, most of that shit would, and this would make sense, be placed and stationed off the US and more over into the international areas, like over in like Japan, Korea, over in like Germany, over in like the Middle East, where they are actually facing or under subversive subterfuge. No one in America expects outright violent subterfuge because the okay, no one expects this shit on the fucking home front. Okay, no one does, and so the majority of the likelihood of fucking military bases having some type of anti-drone tech to counteract and to completely kill any incoming drone swarms is going to be, unfortunately, very fucking low, unless it's going to be some very highly confidential military base, like fucking any.
Now, to be clear, this is something that military experts have been
I don't
warning us
fucking know
about
the names.
for
I don't remember them right now.
To quote Tom Shugart again, a reminder, given today's Ukrainian drone strikes, that it is becoming borderline insane that we routinely allow ships owned and operated by DoD-designated Chinese military companies to sit in our ports with thousands of containers on board and under their control.
What? The likelihood of them already having a fucking container with this shit in play, or at least in moderation, or at least, or going to be modified to be doing so now. Oh god.
Now, what makes Operation Spiderweb
Oh
truly
fucking
historic
god.
is that these experts have now been proven right. This is sort of in the same way that forward-thinking people could see in 1914 that tanks were the future of warfare, but it took until a series of spectacular victories in the summer of 1918 for politicians and wider society to catch up. We are now seeing the eyes of the world opened to what was once a theoretical threat, and no one knows what's going to come next. That's because the means to defend against such a threat are still in their infancy. Sure, you can jam drones, but experience on the front lines of Ukraine shows that electronic warfare is a constant arms race. There's a reason why the best defense on most of the front appears to be netting. More to the point, when small drones are so cheap, you don't have to hit a billion-dollar target to make an attack cost-effective, especially when you consider that such strikes may not even be the work of state-based actors. And if there are
And again, this is what I
system,
said. It could literally just be one rogue retard. And this is gonna create. This is not gonna happen now, but within 3 or 4 years, there's probably gonna be an attack somewhere that happens, either in Europe or in America, on a smaller scale version like this. It's going to completely change how drones are regulated.
Then the gold might be won by retired Australian General Mick Ryan, who noted that, quoting here, the proliferation of drones, open source sensors, and digital command and control systems means that long-range strike is now a commodity available to almost every nation-state and non-state actor with a few $1 million and the desire to reach out and strike their adversary.
Here we go. To really hit something, it's not that hard. To hit something very, very fucking far away is very hard. Hence, if you can get to the other person's place and ship your drone, man, you don't really have to need a fucking rocket or an ICBM now, do you? You just need to fucking fly the drone only like a couple 100 kilometers and then boom, you go.
The scary part there is
everyone's gonna be looking for a rocket. not that many people are gonna be looking for like a small hatchback Toyota like Celica.
Non-state actor, a category that would include outfits like the Houthis, Hezbollah, or Al Qaeda. And while we didn't decide to write this episode just to give you nightmares, the idea that a container full of suicide drones could one day be planted at a crowded public location by a terror group, well, that's all sorts of disconcerting, isn't it? In this sense, Operation Spiderweb may have given us a stark glimpse of the future. Not only will politicians now be racing to allocate money for the hardening of America's Pacific bases and becoming a lot more paranoid about Chinese cargo ships near sensitive ports, but we're also likely to see other actors realize the value of low-cost drone warfare.
This is literally just atypical sci-fi shit that is happening and becoming real or becoming reality, and low-cost mass quantity warfare, or at least for the physicality of it, is going to be very cost effective. Because I mean, why would you need a bunch of soldiers to defend an area when you can just have a fucking bunch of like flying drones that respond whenever a sensor picks up a heat signature in an area where it's not supposed to be? You don't need to have like 20 people like stationed and guarding an area at that point. You just need one highly sophisticated radar and then just one or two drones covering the area with fucking, guns or plastic explosives, and then boom, there goes any threat. This has uncovered and unopened a Pandora's box that is going to be impossible to properly close back. Operation Spiderweb has opened the eyes of people who only thought that this was a scientific fictional impossibility. Spiderweb has shown that it is a possible reality. And now we are now only seeing a limited version of the potential warfare aspect of this. The complicated true potential is highly damaging and highly scary.
Over in Sudan, for example, the rapid support forces that are battling the army have already started using cheap drones to attack long distance. Seeing the damage Ukraine could do with inexpensive kit is likely to only inspire more insurgents and more armed groups. But rather than get into all of that, let's end today's video by stepping away from the big picture stuff and looking back at the conflict that has bred these innovations. Revolutionary as Operation Spiderweb was, its overall impact on the Ukraine war might wind up being somewhat minor. Sure, Ukrainians will get a morale boost and Russia will get a colossal
This is more for the
to
top nations to learn from than anything else.
It'll also be stuck for the foreseeable future, with a key part of its nuclear
Hell, if
tech
anything,
hobbled,
Russia
as well as
could
a
arguably get
time-consuming
more
and
drones and just
expensive
simply
need to
overwhelm
search
Ukraine.
haulage trucks for more drones. On the front line, though, it may be that little changes. Analyst Rob Lee summed up the negative take best, writing on X. The war has been very costly for Russia, and the costs have increased, including many embarrassing episodes. But the war continues. I'm skeptical this will significantly
Embarrassment and humiliation will do nothing against the Russian machine. All they want is simply the blood and the land. All you're doing by humiliating them, quote unquote, is just simply further enraging them and pissing them off. And when they get into a position of where they can actually properly retaliate and inflict that damage upon Ukraine, they will do so with a gusto and with abandon.
alter Moscow's perception of whether to continue the war, because bringing the war to Russia has not led to significant political pressure on Putin, and Ukraine is clearly very important to Putin. End quote. In this light, Spiderweb is just another moment, like the sinking of the Moskva or the blowing up of the Kerch Bridge. It's something that humiliates Russia and causes a hissy fit in the Kremlin, but it doesn't otherwise change anything. Like a spectacular pass that doesn't alter the overall direction of a football match. Certainly, the Kremlin's forces are still grinding forward in the Donbass. They're taking immense casualties, but they're also recruiting tens of thousands of fresh faces a month. While we might wish it were different, Sunday's events, they're not likely to change that. Still, that doesn't mean that the Kremlin won't be injured by Spiderweb. With its strategic bomber force hobbled and its troops bogged down in eastern Ukraine, Russia is starting to look less and less like a tier 1 power. The fact it can't even stop a far smaller, far poorer nation from repeatedly humiliating it is going to be noticed by the world. As the founder of Frontier...
They've already been humiliated around the world. They already know that. Everyone knows this. There's no need to say this. But anywho, we get the general gist. Essentially, Operation Spiderweb has created a paradigm shift in those who actually utilize drone warfare, and especially those who are using it in a more subterfugious role rather than an overt warfare position. And so, unfortunately, this won't really do much or change the situation over in Ukraine, but it will change and properly reposition the severity of how drones are viewed. So let's just see. Let's just hope, anti-drone tactics become commonplace in at least for the infantry in the short coming up while.
You know, what's the point? I'd rather have a regular carrot. So, D tier. Now, before we get back to the video of ranking vegetables based on ease and enjoyment of insertion...
Oh, and just FYI, this is YouTuber realizes sponsor might be an evil company mid-ad.
...into your anus, a quick word from today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by Velmorth, the app that allows you to unlock financial freedom by putting your most valuable asset to work, yourself. With Velmorth, there's no job application, no resume, no time commitment. Just download the app, enter some basic details, your name, phone number, social security number, and we'll handle the rest.
What?
Wait, they need your social security number?
Yeah, but a phone number and name too.
Isn't that a little...
No, it's like for verification or something. Trust me, this company's legit.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's not shady, and they don't even need the full social security number.
Oh.
Just the last 9 digits.
Your profile is matched with a relocation request from our partners operating in places with little to no oversight. Every time someone uses your identity to move through these areas, you get paid, with bonuses and ongoing earnings with every successful transfer. Basically, you're helping people get moved, bought, and sold, all while taking a cut. Okay,
what?
This is starting to sound like a human trafficking company.
No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this company they're trafficking humans.
Shit.
Yeah, how confident are we that this company is not trafficking humans?
90%? Is that enough?
Because it sounds an awful lot like they're talking about human trafficking, no?
I don't know, dude. Just come on, give it a chance.
Okay.
Give human trafficking a chance.
Top users have already made $3,500 in their first 10 days, all without doing any actual work. Velmorth takes care of the logistics, the paperwork, the details. You don't have to worry about what happens behind the scenes. Every transfer is someone disappearing into the shadows, taken without consent, and moved beyond anyone's reach. Yeah, this is human trafficking.
No.
This is literal
bro.
Human trafficking. I'm telling you, they're trafficking humans.
No, they're not.
No, we can't. No, dude, we can't.
They're not human trafficking.
They're not human trafficking.
Against their will.
Okay, that's not good.
Oh my fucking god. We're done after this. No, that's it. We're done. We are fucked if we say this. We're done. Once the transfers are complete, the processing phase begins. Participants are sedated, tagged, and loaded into unmarked transport units before they're even fully awake. Others are processed for modular extraction, stripped for parts over time, kept alive.
Modular extraction.
I can't say this shit, dude. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? That doesn't answer anything. Who has heard of Velmorth? What the fuck is Velmorth? I can't. They are for sure 100%. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not doing this.
They pay you $20K if you do.
After they're moved, most go through standard trafficking routes. Sold, repurposed, vanished. But a select few were chosen for Velmorth's Vital Essence Retention System, a facility where rows of immobilized bodies are strapped into cold frames, tubes embedded deep in their skulls and spines. Machines some quality as they extract everything. Memories, emotions, dreams, rifles,
memories.
Slow rhythmic pulse. Their bodies are kept alive just enough to keep producing. You just open up the app, monitor the fees, and rack up points. Every real-life siphon earns you core points, used to boost your rank, unlock new regions, and play bonus games like
Why does it sound like a fucking...
It all keeps running as long as you keep watching. Download Velmorth today and be sure to use code ALJOKES15.
Oh my fucking god.
You know what? They're all S tier.
And it's time for...
Oh my god. Oh God. Alright. Alright. This is Lefties Losing It. Democrats' secret weapon to entice back young male voters. I hope this goes over the like $20 million talking point that they did over in like a fucking luxury hotel.
All lefties losing it, and we've got some gems for you tonight. Let's start with the Democrats finally realizing they have a problem with young men. Yes, young men have abandoned the party in droves, and the Dems think they have just the woman to lure them back.
As the saying goes, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
Yes.
Menu.
Yes.
I'm scared.
That's Democrat operative influencer Olivia Juliana, and she loves young men.
Rudy Giuliani.
Democrat operative influencer Olivia Juliana.
So we got Rudy Giuliani on the right, and now we have Olivia Juliana on the left.
And she loves young men. She loves the frat boys and
No. Don't say that she loves young men coming from the party that's endorsing MAPS. No. Oh God. She probably doesn't mean what I think I mean.
she thinks she understands them and how to bring them back to the Democrats.
I spend a lot of time on college campuses, and I spend a lot of time with
young men.
I love young men. I love frat guys.
Is that David Hogg?
And in that, I realized, like, even the ones that identify as conservative are almost always pro-choice. They're almost always pro-gay marriage. You'd be surprised at the number of them who supported Black Lives Matter.
I mean, yeah. A lot of, yeah.
Yes, I'm sure conservative young men are huge backers of the neo-Marxist, anti-American, anti-police movement known as BLM. And I'm
Man. So popular, right? Especially from the same movement that goes, oh, we don't need men. Women are the, what is it? Women rule the world?
sure this will see them return to the Democrats in huge numbers.
Oh God.
Angry that the ocean is on fire and three different places, and we have billionaires who are racing to see who can get to space faster. The same billionaires who don't pay their workers fairly, the same billionaires who don't pay their fair share in taxes.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Now here is a law.
Rage against rich people can only go so fucking far. And guys don't give a shit about that.
Professor and wife of MSNBC host Chris
Not like what you girls
decided
get
to
upset
lie
about.
or at least mislead Senator John Kennedy from the great state of Louisiana, and that was a mistake. Big mistake. Huge.
You said there are some members of the Supreme Court that are evil. Which justices were you talking about?
Oh. Evil? Outright evil? Oh shit.
I'll take it your word, Senator. I don't recall using that word, but...
All right, here's what you said. You were talking about the majority opinion in Muldrow v. City of St. Louis. You said, quote, Justice Kagan, will she be able to control the opinion's future distortion by her evil colleagues? Probably not, end quote. Who are you talking about?
Sir, I'm very skeptical. If there's a transcription, it was probably a transcription error.
He called you out. Either say you did it or you didn't. Don't say that there's some fucking error and try to pass off the
No,
buck.
you said it. Once you own up to it, which you call some members
Oh,
of
there
the
we go.
Supreme Court evil. Now, which ones do you think are evil?
I would have to refresh my recollection. I've been very critical
You're
of some
embarrassed
members of the
that
Supreme
you made
Court.
that statement, aren't you?
I'm
You're an
just
officer
it
of the
doesn't sound
court.
like something that
You know
I
what
would
I'm
say.
embarrassed at? That you're teaching our kids.
I don't refer to
Damn.
Supreme Court justices as evil in the classroom.
You literally did though. Let's go back.
You said it. You talking about she be able to control the opinions, future distortion by her evil colleagues? Probably not.
It doesn't sound like something that
You know
I
what
would
I'm
say.
embarrassed at? That you're teaching our kids.
I don't refer to Supreme Court justices as evil in the
You literally did. We can go back, but we're not gonna go.
Okay, well,
Big as Dallas.
Wait,
And
what?
you're an officer of the court, and you're here advising us to be respectful of federal judges, and you say they're evil members of the United States Supreme Court? Gag me with a spoon.
Gag me with a spoon. How many times
What the fuck does that even mean?
did she lie or mislead there, claiming
Oh, God.
she never said it? It was a transcription error. It's not.
No. My dog ate my dog called the judges gay. My dog called the judges evil. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Professor Shaw,
It was my evil dark clone.
as the kids say, here is the receipt. And by the way, she said this only last year.
The result, deftly constructed opinion by Justice Kagan. I mean, will she be able to control its potential future distortion by her evil colleagues?
Now, this is how you handle the leftist activist
There we
media.
go.
You do not allow them to play linguistic games. Don't allow them to obscure the truth by using their preferred terms that are inaccurate and designed to manipulate. Watch Stephen Miller on CNN give a masterclass on how you handle these activists.
An undocumented migrant sent a letter threatening to kill the president, promising to self-deport after the assassination. CNN reporting shows that investigators believe the migrant was
Didn't someone I don't remember if it was during the Bush administration or the Obama administration. Didn't one of them didn't someone send like an anthrax threat over letter? Who with the was it during the Bush or Obama? What happened as a result? A marathon. Oh, so it was George Bush. Oh shit. September 18th. Letters containing anthrax spores. Oh, so maybe that's why we had a bunch of like anthrax, like type of like terror-based like action spy movies back in the day. That's probably why then. Timeline: September 18, 2001. So not very long since 9/11. Media. It was sent to the fucking media. U.S. Senators Tom Dash and Patrick Leahy. Anthrax characteristics. Highly potent, capable of becoming airborne. As a result, people died from this? It wasn't just a targeted attack at the president? Oh. Shit. 2 postal workers, a photo editor, a hospital worker, and an elderly woman died. 17 others got infected, either through inhalation or cutaneous exposure. Oh shit. FBI. Involving over 10,000 witness interviews. Holy shit. And almost 6,000 grand jury subpoenas. Oh. By 2008, the FBI focused on Dr. Bruce Ivins. Who are you, Bruce Ivins? Oh. An American microbiologist, vaccinologist, senior biodefense researcher for the American Army Medical Research Institute of Infectious Diseases, U.S. AMRID, and was the person identified by the FBI as the perpetrator of the 2001 anthrax attacks. Later died to acetaminophen suicide. Motherfucker died to Tylenol poisoning? Oh, so here we go. National Academy of Sciences in 2011 reviewed it and supported that it did not conclusively prove Irvin's guilt. Huh. Okay, so what was the response then? Oh. The Patriot Act and the fucking Security Bioterrorism Preparedness Act. Okay. Okay, so yeah, it was just pretty much only the Bush administration where it was the no. Obama got the Ricin letters. That's what it was. Ricin was okay. And we all remember Ricin from fucking Breaking Bad. But essentially 2 different types of fucking bioterroristic agents were utilized. One very different than the other. But okay. Going back.
It was a victim of a setup. What is the administration going to do now? And this is an undocumented immigrant. I do want to note that, but this was someone who came forward, was a victim of a crime, and now law enforcement believes he was set up. Go ahead.
Well, I want to clarify.
Wait, what was this in regard to?
To self-deport after the assassination. CNN reporting or threatening to kill the president, promising to
threatening to kill Trump.
Investigators believe the migrant was set up. It was a victim of a setup. What is the administration going to do now? And this is an undocumented
victim of a setup. If okay, you know what? If this is a setup, fucking tell us who were involved. Tell us who were involved.
Someone who came forward, was a victim of a crime, and now law enforcement believes he was set up. Go ahead.
Well,
who did it?
Clarify what you mean. So we're talking about the same thing. Are you saying this immigrant was here illegally?
Yes, but I am, and that's why I said that. I clarified that.
You said undocumented, and I wasn't clear what that means. I'm assuming they have a fake ID. I'm assuming they have a fake social security number.
That's neither here nor there. That's getting away from the question,
country.
Stephen. I want this to be, and call me naive, a good faith discussion about what's happening right now.
But when we use language that's designed to obscure the truth, that's not good faith.
All right,
an illegal alien is an illegal alien. They're not an undocumented migrant.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, that is fine. Don't let the left play these word games to deliberately conceal the truth, to manipulate. Remember, he who controls the language controls the masses. Don't be controlled.
As someone who is actually formally trained in understanding the English language, I really wish that the common layperson did understand how impactfully manipulative even basic word choice can be, just to manipulate the emotive response of even a title. But most people just read and then react based off of what they read, not what is being stated or why it's being stated. They just take it at face value.
And the lawfare with the Democrats has never stopped. It didn't ultimately work in stopping President Donald Trump from being re-elected.
Isn't it lawfare? And like, isn't it like a fucking French word? Fair. Fuck, I don't. Shit, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck.
Power, the Democrats are again misusing the courts and Democrat-appointed judges to undermine the president's power and to usurp the will of the American people. Here is Democrat Rep. Laura Friedman explaining it all.
Every single week, we have a litigation working group where a large group of us, and I'm talking there's maybe 75 members of the House, sit down every single week with the AGs to talk about legal strategy. This is all going on every single week behind the scenes. It is nonstop talk, nonstop introduction of bills and legislation.
Joining me now is Newsweek's senior editor-at-large and Article 3 Project Senior Counsel Josh Hammer. Josh, you coined the term judicial insurrection, and we see examples of it almost on a weekly basis.
Yeah, the Democrats, Rita, apparently are not content to throw out hundreds and hundreds of years of precedents about not prosecuting your political enemies, at least in these United States. Who knows where they will stop at this point there? But, you know, we frankly have not taken a full societal reckoning here in the United States of exactly what the Democratic Party and what the Democrat lawfare complex, as I've called it, as to what exactly they have put us through for the past few years. Thank goodness, Rita, thank goodness for so many reasons Donald Trump defeated Kamala Harris in the 2024 election. But among those reasons that we should be grateful that he won is that in the alternative hypothetical universe, if he had lost that election, there is a very, very, very real chance that he would not only not be sitting at the White House right now, he would actually be in jail. That was literally the stakes. I mean, when Americans went to vote there in November, they were actually voting on that. I don't know when Democrats are going to give this up. Sometimes, Rita, I think, what is it actually going to take this party to stop harping about these 80-20 issues on the wrong side there? What percentage of the American people...
They're not going to stop because they're too busy trying to make themselves feel good about their position and stance. And that act of feeling good is going to trump over any other logical thing that should be taking precedence, because their emotions are over prioritized over what is reality.
Actually support this, as opposed to focusing on, oh, I don't know, economic issues, bread and butter issues, pocketbook issues, immigration, crime, basic lifestyle issues. Democrats, that is the reason that your party's approval ratings and favorability ratings are in the freaking toilet right now. You want to get back in fair position. Stop focusing on this, focusing on what your voters actually care about.
No, they're too busy calling everyone a racist.
Well, so much of the trouble, the far left activism we see is well financed by various groups. And on that, let's have a look at this New Yorker fluff piece featuring Alex Soros, who the New Yorker describes as an investor and philanthropist. Same way they described his father, billionaire George Soros. Here he is with political operative and Hillary's BFF, Huma Abedin. Interesting image, Josh. What sort of influence is he exerting?
What is with this effeminately, like, feminine as fuck metrosexual man?
Right now.
Why do you have your fucking pants rolled up so high to show your socks? What?
Oh, Rita, he's one of the most powerful men, not just
Oh,
in America,
God.
but argue in the world. I mean,
Oh,
he's the
God.
emperor of George Soros' empire. I mean, he is the globalist of all globalists. So you're looking at the heir to the throne, Alex Soros, right there with Huma Abedin, Hillary Clinton's old pal there. I mean, this guy is funding all sorts of the very worst causes. Again, not just here in the United States, but in Europe.
What causes? Before you continue with your shit, let's find out what you are going to say. What causes either viewed favorably by the Republicans does Alex Soros support? So, as chair of the Open Society Foundations and president of the Democratic Democracy PAC. Oh, okay, so he's just a fucking, he's the leader of the Super PAC. Alright, not Super PAC, but the Democrat PAC. Alright, so causes supported by Alex Soros. He supports voting rights and civic participation, particularly targeting underrepresented groups like Black and Latino vote. What? They vote already. What the fuck? Okay. So he funneled $10 million to the Democracy PAC to Black PAC for a rural African American voter mobilization program in Georgia, and millions more to boost turnout in Rust Belt states in Texas. Oh, okay. Democrats strongly favor effort to bring out voter access and turnout, whereas Republicans often express skepticism over broad voter mobilization, which I mean I can understand their point of view, but it's really more to bring up the people who wouldn't be voting to vote. So it's not getting like, it's not like bringing like a bunch of fucking like migrants or like immigrants to fucking vote for a random cause. It seems like they're supporting the idea of bringing the people who are too lazy to stay like vote and bring them out. That's fine. He supports progressive criminal justice reforms, including less aggressive prosecution for non-violent crimes. Okay. Less aggressive prosecution for non-violence, I can get behind, unless it's for fucking bullying. Like, bullying to the point of like making someone want to kill themselves. Bail reform, no. And reduced incarcerations, no. Fuck that. Fuck that. I live in Washington. We have enough fucking retarded ass criminals walking about committing crimes and our fucking police being unable to do shit. I want these guys fucking jailed and gone to prison. Fuck these guys. Democrats generally view these reforms favorably, emphasizing rehabilitation, equity, and addressing systemic biases. No. If you want to not be in fucking jail, don't commit fucking crimes that take you to fucking jail. God damn it. Quit having this fucking expectation of low burdens and low outcomes being placed upon fucking people that you think are gonna be committing these acts. Stop it. Either treat people like fucking proper people, or understand that there are differences between the fucking like quote unquote races, and then just go full racist. Then it's either one or the other. You can't have it fucking in the middle of both ways and be like hypocritically selective of which one you can support and which one you don't. No, that shit's retarded. Environmental activism, I mean, I'm supportive of that. Abortion and reproductive rights. I mean, I'm less on abortion, but I'm more for the actual reproductive rights for themselves. So, I mean, this supersedes this, in my opinion. Because just because you brought in a life means that should not be that you get rid of a life as easily, unless other instances and factors give a non-favorable outcome. But anywho, immigration and open. Okay. So we kind of get what he supports.
Increasingly, throughout the other countries of the Western Hemisphere, trying to sow the seeds of discord in Central America and South America. There, the Middle East. There, I mean, God knows what he wants to do when it comes to the issue.
Wait,
throughout
what?
the other countries of the Western Hemisphere, trying to sow the seeds of discord in Central America and South America. There, the Middle East. There, I mean, God knows what he wants to do when it
So the Democrats are wanting to fuck up Central and South America because they see it as the new Middle East.
comes
God
to the
damn.
issue of Israel and Hamas. This guy's money flows everywhere. He, at this point, Rita, is hands down one of the most dangerous men in the entire world there. And frankly, the fact that he ended up with an old Clinton hand, Anthony Weiner's ex-wife, Huma Abedin, there, it's really kind of just a cherry on the cake, I say.
What?
Now I'm going to ask you about Elon
I
Musk.
fucking I got completely fucking lost the tail end there.
Shortly, but just first, here is Elon Musk on how the likes of George Soros can take a relatively small amount of money and use it to exert enormous influence via NGOs.
It's kind of a hack to the system where someone can get an NGO stood up for a fairly small amount of money. Like George Soros was really good at this. Like George Soros is like a system hacker. Like he figured out how to hack the system. He figured out that you could leverage a small amount of money to create a nonprofit, then lobby the politicians to send a ton of money to that nonprofit, so you can take what might be, a $10 million donation to a nonprofit to create a nonprofit and leverage that into $1 billion NGO. A nonprofit is a weird word. It's just a non-governmental organization.
Josh, he went on to explain these NGOs often have fluffy, nice-sounding names, and every year the governments will write them a big fat check, so our taxes fund this activism. Is that what was really uncovered when the USAID program was properly scrutinized?
Yes, that was exactly what happened there. And by the way, USAID remains to this day one of Elon Musk and Doge's greatest successes. Arguably their single greatest success here in the United States was uncovering the NGO rot inside of USAID. I mean, who in the world thought that the US...
And yet, Elon and Trump are now at each other's fucking throats. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. So let's save this bit for a little bit extra.
He got the hostages out. Before we felt like nothing is happening, and I remember for me ever since he came into the road, they were very scared of him. Yeah, they wanted
Who?
Terrorists.
We're afraid of Trump.
Yeah, they wanted Kamala to be chosen, to be elected.
You talked politics with them?
Yeah. They wanted Kamala to be elected. When Trump...
Gee, I wonder why.
Became president, yeah. The way they treated us changed.
Josh, he explained in that interview how after Trump's win, they treated him differently. They treated him better, abused him less, fed him more. And it just shows...
Gee, it's almost as if terrorists don't want to be properly dealt with in a heavy fucking handed manner. But I digress.
Strategy works, but on this conflict, it's still not over. Will this war continue until Hamas is no more? And
alright, we kind of get the general gist of whatever this person's saying. Pretty much the left has to get its act together and get its political identity in order, not just simply go on and on about gender identity and identity politics, because it's clearly not working. And the people, and when I mean the people, I mean like the general normie, don't give a flying fuck about it anymore. Hello, Tricky Foxhole. Alright. But yeah. Oh yeah, so going back. I don't know why people fucking hate Tectone. Here, let me figure out why. All I know is that he does a bunch of whatchamacallit? Genshin Impact stuff. No, he likes whatchamacallit? Waifu simulators. Yeah, there we go. Gotcha, girls. Alright, anywho. Why do people hate, dislike Tecton? What did he do? I just see him as a fucking... Okay, I don't know anything about him aside from the fact that he's he's a retard who knows nothing about World War II history. Got kicked out of from trying Limbus. He started Arknight Strong. So this guy is a fucking gotcha girl or gotcha game drama farmer. All right, here we go. Gotcha Gaming, shit, Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact. Okay, so he's provocative, he's loud and brash and outspoken. Okay. So he's okay, so he's a drama farmer. Alright. That's fine, I guess. Unless he's like is he like intentionally misconstruing points to create drama? Or is he just purposely putting himself in between like two people and causing a drama rift from that? Let's see. One of the more serious reasons for his negative reputation is abusive behavior made by his former housemate and ex-partner Pinky Chew in November 2024. Accused him of emotional manipulation and sex abuse. Okay. And recording her. Ooh, that's severe. And then after that, he left OTK, although he stated it was due to an expired contract. Okay. However, the timing led to speculation that his departure was influenced. I actually remember this. I don't think anything happened with that. I thought it was... I remember Aspen talking about it, and he was just mentioning that it was an expired contract. Yeah. See, no one actually does care about relationships. Yeah, see? They were false. He revealed she filed a police report against him, which he made was baseless. Blah, blah, blah. So, lack of true evidence. Okay. And then he got banned for what? He got banned for calling Frogan fat. He got banned for telling a viewer to kill himself, which was rightfully banful. And then what? Okay, so what? He called Frogan fat, and he got banned for 2 weeks, right? I know, right? History of feuds, community conflicts. I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think they just don't like the fact that he's a drama tuber, pretty much. You know, causing shit over in like the gotcha game circle. Oh, here we go. Perceived hypocrisy and lack of accountability. He's a virtue signaler, criticizing lolly content while associating people who do that. Okay. Critics argue he avoids accountability by framing himself as victim of haters. Okay, I mean that one's. I mean everyone fucking does that. Reddit is pointed out Tecton's lack of intellectual. Okay, I mean to be fair though, he is kind of retarded. Like, I think he made a comment about what, some like World War II being fucking in like 1840s or some shit, some dumb shit like that. Okay, so just don't take him too fucking seriously, and he's a fucking trauma slump idiot. I mean, that's fine. On X, Tectone frequently addresses his haters, claiming spreading misinformation. Reddit threads, particularly LSF and Genshin Impact, highlight a mix of disdain for his drama-driven content and support from fans who find him entertaining. Critics often cite his obnoxious personality and lack of accountability, while supporters argue he's unfairly targeted. Okay. So why did he get banned? What dumb shit did you do now? Just some... Wasn't this the chick who was drinking a shit ton and causing a bunch of problems with OTK? All right, you know what? Let's okay, let's see this. You know what? No, I don't want to watch a fucking 12-minute clip. Let's watch. Let's see. Did Asmon cover this shit? JP2, of course you fucking do. 30 minutes? Oh my god, never mind. We're going back. Fuck that shit. Asmon, I thought you had a fucking like 9-minute video or something.
Let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Please like the video, please leave a comment, and share this with your... Because I called them whores.
I just skipped to the highlight. Okay, hang on. We need context. I need context.
On a daily basis.
Okay, what?
Throughout my entirety of living here, never once have I lived by myself. I have always had someone living with me the entire time I've been down in
Oh
Austin.
god.
And this woman is so deranged.
Okay, here, let me just skip to the highlight.
Because I called them whores.
Could you hear that? I mean, that one's... I didn't know. But apparently there's context.
And this woman is so deranged that she thinks that I lived with her. Now, I don't know what gorgeous bald man with a beautiful beard she must be having sex with on a daily basis in her STD-ridden pussy to think that it's me, but I assure you, I have never lived with this woman. I don't even know this woman outside of a one-time...
Kenny, the entire internet has become soft.
interaction where there was 50 other streamers there. Now, you might be wondering, why did I get banned for 7 days on twitch.tv/Techtone? Why did Twitch deem me worthy of a 7-day ban? Because I called them whores. Yep, I called 2 women with OnlyFans whores.
I feel like there's more context to it, so I'm not gonna say outright, but I think he was being harassed by them. So if this is in response to them fucking, making a bunch of like allegations or whatever, then it makes sense. But makes sense for him calling them whores. Him getting banned for it is fucking dumb and retarded.
By the way, by definition, a factual statement. OnlyFans girls who are sex workers are prostitutes. Prostitutes are whores. Whores are prostitutes. Prostitutes are sex workers. I got banned for 2 weeks for calling a fat person fat. I got banned for 7 days for calling a whore a whore.
Shit, I mean... Yes, Twitch moderation is dumb and retarded. That is absolutely fucking true. Especially when it's just clear cut either Techtone gets banned and the people who are harassing him should be banned. Or Techtone doesn't get banned, but neither do the fucking people. I mean, yeah. Or like we get fucking Hassan who's saying he's fucking 10 tones down in support of the fucking Houthi terrorists. And yeah, we get this bald retard banned for a week for calling a whore, apparently. Or, well, an OnlyFanner a whore.
Now, I'm
I
sorry
don't
if
fucking
that
know.
terminology upsets you, but the
I don't
problem
fucking
is
know.
that doesn't make it any less true. And the reality
Also, I like how he's trying to be more professional right now, and he's fucking wearing a blazer, but it's so oversized. It's just like slouching off of him.
is when I go live and I tell the truth and I get banned for 7 days, and then you have these same women where I am only calling that out of defense. I'm only calling them that out of defense because they have provoked
I'm pretty sure it's a fucking like tank top or like a wife beater.
me.
Wait,
by
what?
accusing them that out of defense because they have provoked me by accusing me of crimes that I have not committed whatsoever. Going in on allegations that went fucking nowhere almost a year ago now. I think it's pretty reasonable if I call them
I think
a
you
name or two.
I think you dress more fashionably than fucking Tectone, okay? I think you dress more fashionably than fucking Tectone, Kenny. You look good.
So I want to let you guys all know this. This is the same website where Hassan calls me a rapist, where Hassan calls Nuxtaku a pedophile, who calls Mudahar a pedophile.
You can't-
Who calls Asmongold a
You can't call people that shit without repercussions
pedophile and a
because in
mother-
real life you would get your ass beat if it was just a random ass fake allegation, or you would get the fucking police called and be like, "What the fuck are you doing? What the hell?"
killer. Bringing up Asmongold's dead
I mean,
mother.
yes, you
No
are
ban.
absolutely right.
No punishment.
They are gonna be
Mike
victim
from
farming
PA
their trauma.
calls me a pedophile,
but-
calls Nuxtaku a pedophile,
God damn.
calls Asmongold a pedophile, calls him a murderer. No
At least be consistent with the shit, you know?
ban. Calls for the death of Asmongold. No ban. Denims, who was also called for the death of Asmongold. No ban.
Okay, but to be fair, I think it was either Minx or Denims when they threatened Asmongold. I don't think they were actually targeting him. They were targeting someone. I think they were targeting like Matt Carrera. But regardless, yes, they still should have been fucking banned for that.
Hassan, who has radicalized his audience to supporting terrorism. No ban. Frogan, who supported 9/11. No ban. I call an
If you say that you oh God. Hang on, let's go back. What was the actual
Frogan,
thing?
who supported 9/11.
Support no. Fuck that. Ban.
No ban.
Deserves a fucking ban. I don't know. I just know he's loud and wrong about gotcha shit, and his type of content represents the YouTube slop of the current era. No, that is definitely true. He is a key epitome of maybe not unknowledgeable, but willfully unknowing content. Yep.
Call an OnlyFans girl a whore after she called me a rapist.
But I mean, to be fair, if I mean, calling someone a rapist or a pedophile is way more severe than calling someone a fat or a whore. This shit is so fucking skewed in terms of severity. Holy shit.
Career-ending, life-ending accusation.
True.
They get no punishment. I get 7 days.
And all the lost sub counts, all the lost auto subs. Yep.
Do we get why this is a problem now? Do we understand why this is bad? And sure.
I mean, but to be fair, he also could have just simply avoided by not calling them whores. To be fucking fair. So, it is Tectone. Oh my god, Jesus Christ, he broke 900K. I remember when he was like 700 or even like 6. Holy shit. But yeah, it seems like we understand he's banned for pretty much kind of like not totally unjust, but bullshit reasons. Bullshit reasons. But yeah. Oh yeah, and we were going to go over Elon and Donnie. Let's go first find some. Oh yeah, they also did that. They also during the Witcher 4 trailer, it seems like here here was the old trailer for Siri's face, a little bit more wide with a more maybe more like ovalish. Whereas now this has a more straight up pointed chin style. Banned for shit talk. Yeah, I know, right? But I think that if you're gonna get banned for shit talk, the other person should also equally be banned for the shit talk. Or otherwise, neither should be fucking banned for shit talking. Just makes them fucking look retarded for banning the person to begin with. But some people are trying to say that these faces do not look, or that these faces are the exact fucking same. I mean, I can see a slight difference, but overall not much. Like neither in your opinion. Yeah, like I definitely believe that as long as they're not directly calling for outright open causing violence or outright directly going for like terroristic support, then no, I think people should just be allowed to say whatever stupid shit that they want. 100%. But here we go. So he was making comments like time for a new political party in America that actually represents the 80% in the middle. This was back when he was making comments about Trump. Where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you? Oh yeah. Apparently the one big beautiful bill also, it's hard to tell because the lighting is so different. Also possibly cherry pick screenshots. No, that's true, but they were also the only two direct clear shot faces during the trailer. When we get to once we get some more trailers, we'll have more selections to pick from. But I mean, I do agree that the whole face thing was way overblown. But yeah, the one big beautiful bill that passed a couple days ago, 1,116 pages long. Lord of the Rings, 1,137. There's no fucking way any of those fucking representatives read that shit. How many pages is the Harry Potter book series? 1 through 7. Oh, okay. So 4. Okay. Never mind. I severely underestimated Harry Potter. Okay, well that's good. So about roughly 1/3. What? Well, no. 1/4 actually, because it's only 1,100. Yeah, a quarter. But regardless, there's no fucking way people read that shit in 2 fucking days. In 2 fucking days, there's no fucking way. But Elon Musk said this in regards to Donald Trump and
The footage, shot in November of 1992,
oh, and do know this was Elon Musk who was doing this shit after he was kind of having a public spat with the president. and they indirectly called him a pedophile. And you can walk back a lot of statements, but I don't think you can walk back that one. And let me. I have a video to show you guys after that.
Before Trump opened the resort as a club, shows the future president surrounded by cheerleaders for the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins, capturing Trump's fun-loving bachelor lifestyle for an appearance on Faith Daniels' NBC talk show.
We're going to get great ratings in your show.
Trump is surrounded by women as music blares in the background. After a while, Trump goes to greet 3 new guests, among them the financier Jeffrey Epstein.
Come on in. Go inside.
More than a decade before his guilty plea on state prostitution charges. Later in the footage, Trump is seen talking to Epstein and another man as women are dancing in front of them. Trump alternates between dancing and
But yeah, so with that, here we have the Elon Trump and the Trump Musk bromance ascending. And so we had the earlier crash out with Elon Musk talking about how the One Big Beautiful Bill completely counteracted all of this work that he did at Doge. And it seems like he's a rather true believer of at least wanting to clean up the government's wasteful expenditure. And unfortunately, what was Elon Musk Doge train me? There we go. Exactly. There we go. This is essentially what he felt after the One Big Beautiful Bill passed. Boom. And this is what partially led to the crash out of Elon earlier. But later on, Trump did respond, and it was not as strong as I expected it to be, because Elon Musk targeted Trump's bill. He targeted the meat of the content. He targeted the specific things that he had issues with. And here we'll get to.
Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it.
Trump started the feud in remarks from the Oval Office on Thursday. Musk then hit back with posts on his social media platform X saying, quote, "Without me, Trump would have lost the election. Such ingratitude." He even said yes to a post that said Trump should be impeached. Trouble between the two have...
Now, I don't think... Okay. 2 things. First, Trump didn't actually address anything of the actual bill. He only responded and actually inflamed Elon Musk's character, which doesn't actually address anything. But secondly, I don't think Elon Musk is actually correct here, because he did have a helping hand in like pushing down the scales, but I don't think it was his hand specifically that caused him to, or that caused Donald Trump to win. But Elon Musk buying Twitter did enable the environment that allowed Donald Trump and his MAGA community to build the base up for him to win again.
X saying, quote, "Without me, Trump would have lost the election. Such ingratitude." He even said yes to a post that said Trump should be impeached. Trouble between the two have been brewing all week, after Musk on Tuesday started denouncing Trump's sweeping tax cut and spending bill.
Look, Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore.
Trump is now planning to cut off government contracts with Musk's companies.
But didn't he already say that he was going to do that with the electric spending cuts, like electric vehicle mandates and whatnot? I thought he would.
Which has led to the billionaire announcing that his rocket company SpaceX will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately. The capsule plays a critical role in the U.S. government's space program.
Fight, fight, fight!
Musk has been one of Trump's most visible advisors as head of DOGE, or the Department of Government Efficiency, which mounted a sweeping effort to downsize the federal workforce and slash spending.
And the Department of Government Efficiency is gonna fix that.
Their sparring hammered shares of Musk's electric vehicle maker Tesla. A prolonged feud between the two could make it more difficult for Republicans.
How bad did Tesla's stock prices get today? Holy shit. All right. So during the highest of highs, 440, during the lowest of lows, went down to 222 during the massive Tesla car bombings and whatnot. And in the past 5 days, they were floating at 360, 336, 340, 350, 345. Then most likely the spending bill passed. When did that pass? When did one big beautiful bill pass? May 22nd. So wait. May 22nd, 334, it went up. Then so it literally only went down from huh? It went down, and then today it tanked in price right around when he made the comments against the president. 277. Then went back up after I think he posted about Donald Trump being on Epstein, and now it is at 286.90. Good fucking god. Oh boy. Hot damn. You know what? Fuck that. Oh man. Oh, here we have Kershaw. Oh, Kershaw got a new intro screen.
Welcome to the Kick family, Asmongold. Multi-streaming begins tomorrow. Oh boy. Oh boy, this is a reminder that your beautiful little warm bodies just give me free American money dollars by existing in my Kick stream. Just existing on Kick gets me paid. It's fucking great. Kickman Gold. Yeah, we got Kickman Gold.
Kickman Gold.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting that he's going to be branching
Okay,
out and
yeah.
multi-streaming instead of just being...
See, he just pretty much talks about multi-streaming and just virtual signalers. Nah, we're good. Alright, let's get into Crack Ducks. Crazy Insano Imperial Weapons.
Hi, friends. What would Warhammer be without the war? Well, I suppose it would just be...
Yeah, I am multi-streaming. I'm multi-streaming on Kick and on YouTube. Just... at least I think I am on YouTube. So also that way when I ever get to doing VODs, I don't have to do any hard difficulty things. Since all the content will already be up online anyways. Yep, online. Perfect. Yeah, government drama today. Namely, just the biggest thing on the news, which was just Elon having a big public spat between him and Donald Trump. And the funny thing is, everyone already knew and it was expecting them to fucking have a public crash out. It's just, they lasted way longer than anyone thought. Like every time I saw him on the fucking like White House streams, I thought it would have been fucking it.
Hammer. But gosh darn it, that would be a bit boring. Unless of course you're
like it is important. Like, what some people argue is that it's for them to put more focus back onto the Jeffrey Epstein Jeffrey Epstein files and to properly release it. But what if there are implications for why they can't release it, or like what because Jeffrey Epstein was an international guy, and he most likely had hands in multiple pots. So at least most likely after his capture, the likelihood of his blackmailing information. Wait, do people actually care about the Epstein shit? Yes, they do, dude. A lot of people do still care about the shit. I mean, it's less of outright hating the pedos, in my opinion, and outright more of, oh, look at all these politicians and top world leaders who did a criminal act that everyone can say that this is a bad thing that they should go to jail for. Put them in jail. And I think it's more of the people who want to see the people who get away with constant shit finally getting their just dues and going to jail, but never doing so because the Epstein files haven't been released. I mean, because for example, like people who hate Bill Gates don't have much ammo against Bill Gates, except like Jeffrey Epstein thing, because he flew on Epstein's plane multitude of times, and we're talking about Bill fucking Gates here, the fucking richest billionaire of all time, like of the modern age, before Musk. I mean that's the thing too. At least people knew about it, and I think one of the arguments for the people on Trump's side is saying that he knew that there's two arguments where both are dodgy. One is he didn't know about Jeffrey Epstein but still flew on it anyway, regardless of the rumors, or he did know about Jeffrey Epstein having trafficking kids, but didn't do anything because he didn't want to rock the boat and therefore didn't want to lose his free jet plane. And so even then, it's just him failing to do any fucking thing to stop. It's not a good look either way you slice it. Like, no matter how you cut the pizza, it looks like shit. I mean, yes. Let's not trust any rich motherfucker. But unfortunately, to get into politics, it's all about... I mean, yes, all of them like him younger because it's more of a power dynamic. It's less of, aha, I can fuck an 18-year-old girl and go, aha, it's taboo, so let me fuck the 16-year-old or 14-year-old girl. Or however low they fucking go. I just want the fucking full, unredacted Epstein list to come out. And I want them to fucking, when they release it, I want FBI agents at the doors of these people who are listed and arrest them the moment it's out. All of them. And I want this shit to be public. So that way everyone knows that doesn't fucking matter. You are on the fucking Epstein list. You are going to jail. You're going to prison. Well, what do you mean by precedent for politicians getting properly arrested? Because there's multitude of politicians who've been arrested by police like willy-nilly. Are you saying precedent for politicians getting properly arrested in regard to like some like big show or like political play? Because in which case, the best case scenario for politicians responding to like in response to like a political maneuvering is probably Saddam Hussein, when he announced like these people I'm in team nothing ever happens. I mean, yeah. Nothing ever happens in America. Nothing ever happens. Whereas over in like Iraq, Saddam Hussein goes fucking name drops you, and then the fucking police fucking drag your ass out, unfortunately, and do all the other fucking terrible things. I'm just saying, when the fucking Epstein list drops, I want police at the door of these people to arrest them. That's all I want them to do. Not fucking murder them. Not murder them like Saddam did. Epstein files released, populace gets mad, nothing happens. No, populace will get mad when nothing happens to the people who are on the Epstein list. People are mad now because the Epstein files got released, but a shit ton of the files were redacted, so you couldn't see who was doing what. It's just black line did black line to young kid. Fuck if I know. I just want to see fucking justice occur. And I know I would have a more likelihood of chance of me like overdosing on shrooms and seeing a shroom based reality of a timeline where the politicians actually get fucked than actually in real life having the probability happening. Justice doesn't apply to people in power, no, but justice applies to people who are fading out of power. And so what I see it is most likely, if not, if the Epstein files ever do get properly unredacted and released, it'll only be after Trump is heading out of office and him properly in productions to defend himself away from the allegations and just letting everyone else in the lurch, or at least in America, not properly being unredactedly released, because either some other foreign entity has the also has a copy of the unredacted Epstein file list, and so my guess is that because Donald Trump is on it regardless, if they try to make it so that way they edit out what's on the list in some degree or manner, the other foreign interests who do have the exact same copy could just outright release it in order to make the American government look terribly incompetent. And so in a way it's kind of like a check against the government from releasing the unredacted files. Because the only reason why they haven't done so is because they're trying to protect somebody or somebodies who are on the list. And so if they are going to release that, they are going to do that edited in some degree or manner until this person or persons are no longer relevant to being protected. Does that make sense? And so if they selectively choose to protect something or someone's, then another group can just simply say, no, fuck you, and then completely discredit and ruin the credibility of the U.S. government, and therefore just there are many ways in which this shit can go wrong for the release of the fucking Epstein file lists. And so we will, unless big political maneuvering happens in terms of international spy affair, I don't think we will get a proper release of the Epstein files. But anywho, going on to Warhammer.
Some kind of Tula file or something, and I really hope that isn't something, and I made that term up. But anyways, what would the war in Warhammer be without all the awesome Insano weapons in the setting? Probably just a bunch of crazy people screaming at each other.
Probably.
But we can see that at the local Pee-wee soccer game, so I'm certainly glad that 40K has its Insano weapons. So today, we're going to talk about the ranged weapons of 40K.
The ranged
weapons!
Some of the
craziest weapons in fiction. They aren't the craziest weapons in fiction, and don't let
But
anyone
not the
tell you
craziest.
otherwise.
Okay.
But for being relatively common and standard equipped to normal due to the setting, they are quite insane. And before we get any further, I just want to make a quick interjection here to say that I have new stickers on the store page. I'm really proud of how they came out, so it'd be cool if you checked them out. They're pretty epic. Anyways though, back to the video. But anyways, let's get into it. And what better weapon to start with than the iconic workhorse of the Imperium, the single most important weapon
The
in
bolter.
the Imperium. That's right, the las gun.
Never
I'm not
mind.
joking. The
We're
las
talking
gun
about
is
the
the
las
single
gun
most
because it's for
important
the
gun in
humans.
entire Imperium. Not the most powerful or holiest weapon, but without the Imperium would be even worse
Everyone's
off than
favorite
they are now,
flashlight.
and they might not even exist. The las gun is a standard battle rifle of the Imperium, and as you would expect, it shoots lasers and is gun. Now, these are stronger than your usual Star Wars-esque laser guns and work differently than like a Battletech beam. They basically emit a super intense beam of energy that vaporizes whatever it hits. So, while it's joked to be a flashlight compared to all other 40k weapons, it's actually quite capable and is said to sever limbs, blast concrete, and even penetrate power.
Yeah, apparently it's very strong, and apparently concentrated blasts of las rifle bursts at a specific target on ceramite plate can melt through it actually. So you could, in theory, have like 6 guardsmen all shooting like a Space Marine's kneecap, and then boom, there goes the fucking kneecap. You know, because you just literally melt through the fucking thing through the concentrated beam.
Armor with well-placed shots. Its primary weakness is against armored opponents, but it excels against flesh and can punch through armor with skilled shots or just sheer mass fire. But the las gun's true power is a logistical aspect. By Gilman's blue ultra balls, the las gun is a logistical gift from the heavens above. The las gun is legendary for its reliability, simplicity, and versatility.
Yeah, it's so much easier to just simply carry the fucking battery pack of a laser powered gun than it is to, you know, it's so much easier to just carry around a battery pack of like AA's than it is to carry around fucking ammo. You know, I have to load this shit. This shit fucking sucks. This shit is annoying. And then I have to cap this shit just so dirt won't get in. Whereas a battery pack is just... What? Oh, hey. Johnson, I need another battery pack. Oh, okay, do you need AA's or AAA's? It's so much fucking easier.
Las gun is basically a laser shooting brick. It's super easy to produce, easy to maintain, hard to actually break, and it does its job good enough, gosh darn it. This means you can take even the dumbest, backwaterist morons of the Imperium, teach them how to shoot a las gun in a few days, and if you found enough morons, then you got yourself a pretty darn dangerous fighting force. Oh, and this thing basically has limitless ammo. It takes power packs, which usually has about 150-ish shots depending on the power settings, which in its
150. Standard mag. Standard 5.56 mag. 30 rounds. That means for the equivalent of his, like, what? What? Four AAAs? That's 5 of these fucking things? That's bullshit.
Itself is pretty nutty considering
That's bullshit. I want 5 of them. I want 5 right now.
roughly the size of a standard 5.56 magazine, but even
Oh, hey, what?
okay,
wait.
But even nuttier is that these can be recharged by basically anything, including solar or, famously, by tossing it in a fire and getting some anti-Xeno flashes for it. And it's not recommended to put your gun battery in a fire, but you can, and that's pretty cool. But the mere fact that the Imperium doesn't really have to worry about ammunition supply lines for its main infantry weapon is pretty insane, and is probably one of the ways the Imperium has managed to survive this long despite its incompetent leadership. And the las gun has also got many variants that fulfill common infantry weapon types like pistols, battle rifles, assault rifles.
And remember, the weapon battery is the ammo, so they don't have to carry. They don't have to carry all this different type of ammo. They don't have to carry fucking five. Here, like, let me try to show y'all. They don't have to carry fucking 9. They don't have to carry 7.62. They don't have to carry fucking 5.56. Okay, they don't need to carry different calibers. They just need to carry the fucking battery pack. And the battery pack is interchangeable.
Better rifles, worse
It's like having 9. That's like having all your guns in the same caliber of 5.56.
rifles,
Even this boy.
miniguns, etc., etc. Of these variants, the Hellgun's my favorite last variant, mostly due to its relation to my beloved Kazarkin, but they are straight up one of the best weapons.
Yeah. Kasirkin are pretty fucking rad. Hellguns are sick. Essentially, they are, I think, like double or triple the firepower of a normal las gun. So you essentially cook through armor. Essentially, it goes through and punches through the one weakness of a normal las rifle.
Not even joking.
Very
it's
fucking cool.
basically just an up-armored lasgun that fixes the lasgun's main weakness of armor by shooting
Oh, hey. I literally...
so gosh darn hard that has more armor penetration than basically any other infantry weapon. The extreme armor penetration makes for a super deadly combo since lasguns are already great against flesh, so busting through armor and vaporizing the fleshy dude inside is quite nice. And this is how Kazarkin are able to take down Marines far easier than you would expect an unaugmented human could do. But this increased penetration comes at the cost of more energy and a bigger gun. That's why Kazarkin carry large power packs and get extra training on how to maintain their guns. However, you know a popular unit who does have giant power packs already would love to have more than 20-ish shots per mag and somewhat regularly fights against Space Marine leveled armored enemies. Oh yeah, the Space Marines. I'm just gonna say it, Hellguns are straight up the perfect weapon for Space Marines. They have higher penetration, better ammo economy, and are arguably more damaging than a bolter, and the
I mean, to be fair, this is gonna go back to a little bit of Space Marine lore nerddom, but Space Marines weren't originally even meant to be using bolters. Bolters are essentially rocket powered bullets, and so essentially they're just a fancier version of just bullets that we have today. Okay, these guys were not meant to be using bolters. They were meant to be using higher tier technological gear called Volkite guns. And I believe Volkite was a type of like plasma based weaponry that essentially kind of like punched through armor and shit. In like a straight beam pattern. But essentially a Hellgun on roids.
Main drawbacks would hardly apply to the ultra capable Marines.
Because I mean, what the fuck would be the point of me hitting 9mm against their armor? I would want fucking plasma to punch through that shit.
Fucking fusion reactors on their back. But with that being said, Space Marines should never and could never change their bolters since bolters are more than just a weapon at this point. They've become a symbol of the Emperor's Angels of Death.
Yeah.
Bolters aren't the weapons of the Marines.
Yes. I was referring more to the 30K, I guess. Yes.
Marines because they're the most
Nowadays they are
the
more following
weapons of the Marines because they instantly convey the brutal and efficient nature of the Astartes. A Space Marine taking down an army with 30 exploding shots in like 30 seconds is just more striking and indicative of the Marine power fantasy. Simply put, bolters are just really badass, and 40K is a setting about being really bad.
Okay, I mean, yes, true. Who doesn't like full auto fucking fire?
Badass. To switch the bolter would be like changing their iconic helmets. Oh wait, never mind. It would be like changing Darth Vader's iconic helmet. Blasphemy. But bolts aside and back to Las, one other Las variant that warrants
doesn't look that bad
is the Las Cannon. The Las Cannon is one of my favorite 40K weapons, and it's literally just a humongo las gun. It circumvents the lasgun's main weakness of armor penetration by amping the power, similar to a Hellgun, but just like 100 times harder. And it's a primary anti-infantry weapon of the Imperium. This massive...
They have those on dreadnoughts. here's my dreadnought. And here, on his right arm, is a plasma incinerator. The plasma incinerator is just a plasma version of a las cannon. And this is how big these fucking guys are. And a normal Marine, I believe, only goes up to about yay high. So, hang on. Let me see if I, Perfect. I'm fucking playing with dolls now. So here we have a normal... let's see... a normal sword captain. Or a sword brother. Sword battle brother. Along with a fucking Black Templar dreadnought. See the height difference. He's gonna be only about yay tall. About the size of his fucking leg. The gun is fucking bigger than the Space Marine. This is the type of scale we are already talking about. And we are not even at the biggest thing
yet. Power comes at a cost though, as it takes longer to cool off and recharge, and is obviously way bigger than a las gun. Duh. One thing I really do love is that las cannons require a team of guardsmen to operate, while Marines can just shoulder the thing and blast shit on the run. It reminds me of grabbing the turret weapons as Master Chief. Always love to see a character running around with guns almost the size
these
of
are the
himself.
fucking hang...
Also, some call the las gun a blazooga. Literally peak. Excuse me. I liked your massive bazookas. Huh, thanks, brother. Next up, let's talk about my favorite special weapon, the plasma gun. Plasma guns are one of the rarer weapons in
Plasma.
except for Intense, where every guardsman and their mom has one, and they predictably shoot plasma. Plasma guns are very powerful for their size and arguably the most versatile of the special weapons class. It's a tad weaker than melta guns, but has a range comparable to grenade launchers. Yeah. And this gun works by superheating liquid nitrogen, creating a magnetic field to hold it in ball form, and then shooting the plasma balls. Into your mother's mouth, that is. But anyways, this plasma bolt, according to the Death Watch, is similar to solar flares in appearance and temperature, which is pretty nutty and basically never actually visually depicted. But this extreme power and moderate range means that the plasma guns excel against heavy infantry and even vehicles if need be. Plasma guns are also famous for their tendency to explode. However, this is usually due to user error. Plasma guns almost always have two variant fire modes. Standard...
It's essentially kind of like going in Helldivers 2, using the fucking railgun and putting it on, turning off safety mode, and then overcharging the gun into, explosion. Same thing, same concept.
The standard mode usually being safe, but of course weaker, and the overcharged mode is risky but powerful. So, commonly, the plasma guns exploding is often due to many Imperials not having enough trigger discipline to prevent overheating, soldiers getting put into desperate situations where overheating is actually preferable to whatever else they're facing, the based mentality of always overcharge, or they simply don't know about the different fire modes. Also, sometimes the plasma gun explosion is depicted as the gun doing an emergency vent that maims or kills the user with a heat flush in order to protect the gun. Anyways, speaking of heat-killing things, let's talk about the king of heat weapons, the Melta-Gun. Another of my favorites. The Melta-Gun is the most
good old short-range shotgun burst,
but is limited by its range due to heat dissipation. Melta-Guns work by basically making a fusion reaction and then venting the heat out of the killing end of the gun to literally melt whatever it's shot at. Or sometimes it's a funky microwave gun. It's a bit weird in lore. But whatever it is, two facts remain. Meltas are extremely devastating.
Generally, from the books that I've read, they generally tend to act more like the first, more similar to like a normal plasma than the second, where it refers more to microwave.
And they operate on super space magic, so don't think about it. Melta guns are devastating against Well, against basically everything.
Pretty
Just
much
ask Yurgen.
everything.
But their short range means that they're most commonly used by ambush commando squads, anti-vehicle squads, and close quarter battles like city fighting, boarding actions, or subterranean stealer hunting.
Hey, what's up, Jurgen?
Most notable are the Inferno Pistol and Multi-Melta. The former is just a Melta pistol with a cool name, and the latter is literally two Melta guns taped to each other. This allows them to either fire faster or have a bit of a longer range when both melters are shot in conjunction. On the topic of microwave guns, though, I present Volkite weapons. These fun
There we
little guns
go.
are Dark Age of technology, and as such, are very powerful weapons. They shoot little beams that violently ignite whatever it hits and can melt armor. They are probably the best all-around weapons for their size. They are extremely powerful and good against basically any target. Basically, their only weakness is their complexity, and they're basically the opposite of lasguns as they are hard to manufacture and maintain. During the Great Crusade, the Emperor wanted to make the Volkites easier to manufacture so that it could be the main weapon of the Imperium. However, due to unfortunate circumstances, this didn't happen, and we
Fucking
got
Horus.
a standard weapon instead. However, jumping off of
Fucking
Volkites,
Horus.
another powerful weapon in 40k is the Grav Gun. This weapon is even rarer than plasmas or meltas, so rare in fact that GW refuses to give us this super cool weapon in any new kit. The Grav weapons work by shooting magic space particles that alter the target's gravitational field. It was originally developed for industrial purposes, but if set to higher gravity settings, it can be used as a devastating weapon. Turns out, altering the forces of nature with a funny green gun is pretty strong. Who knew? So, when set to jumbo, the Grav gun can crush victims beneath their own weight, crumpling armor, crushing structures, or exploding organs from within. This is what allows a Grav gun to be so useful against armor and giant targets. It can also be used at lower settings to be the most overkill stun gun in existence, and this can come in pistol or cannon variants. Also, grenades, which is pretty fun. And then, next up, let's talk about the weapons in 40k that are basically just real-world weapons with a cute 40k skin. AKA, they're real weapons that are usually a bit less practical, but a bit more awesome. We got the auto guns, stub guns, flamers, shotguns, frag grenades, auto cannons, and mortars. Those, of course, being the 40k stand-ins for ballistic rifles, pistols, flamethrowers, shotguns, frag grenades, auto cannons, and mortars. While most of these are basically the same as their real-world counterpart, some do have some notable quirks. For example, flamers use promethium fuel that burns hotter and longer than any real-life fuel, making flamers far more deadly than real-life flamethrowers. The autocannon also has a notable variant in the assault cannon. The regular autocannon is very versatile and good against most targets, but it's most specialized against heavy infantry and light armor. But what if there's a lot of dudes I want to blast?
Hot diggity damn.
For example, a
Good old
tornado
orcs.
assaulting a giant horde of denim takers. Well, then you need an assault cannon. These are basically minigun autocannons. So, in a way, they're even more auto than the autocannon. They shoot a smaller caliber than the standard autocannon, but shoot much faster and can still take on armor just from sheer volume of fire. Plus, you get a wrist-mounted minigun. Coolest shit ever. But anyways, next up, the grenade launchers are
Yeah.
essentially the same as modern ones, but can shoot the fictional crack grenades. Wait, crack grenades? Anyways, speaking of which, crack grenades are another popular armament named as such because they crack the armor of their targets with a powerful implosion
Crack nades are OP.
and kill the nuts inside. Although they have a smaller lethal radius than a frag, the power more than makes up for it, and these make for surprisingly effective weapons against Marines and light vehicles. Considering
At
their
some point, we
often
need to go
standard
back to Space
equipment or
Marines,
can
too.
be used in grenade launchers, a guard squad can be surprisingly deadly if they use them right. And another deadly grenade, and perhaps the deadliest grenade, are the vortex grenades. These funky things basically create a mini warp rift, causing a devastating vortex that sucks in everything in its radius and destroys it. However, like most things warp-related, these things are rather unpredictable, and while they are devastating, they can be risky to use.
I thought these
And
ones
finally, let's
spawned and
talk
created
about what everyone
portals
wants to
for
hear.
demons
What is
to
the
exit
most,
into.
if not the most, iconic weapons in 40k, the holy weapon and symbol of the Imperium's sheer brutality, the bolt gun. Bolt guns were invented by the Emperor himself and is a standard weapon of the Space Marines and later Sisters of Battle. It's seen as a holy symbol and is an intimidating weapon.
Sisters
The
of Battle.
standard bolter shoots a 75 caliber explosive bolt that uses both gunpowder ignitions like conventional ballistic weapons, but also has a gyrojet mechanism that activates after it's fired. This means that the bolt has a more consistent velocity than a gyro gun, while also theoretically being able to achieve a higher velocity and range than a normal firearm. And also, contrary to a relatively popular misconception, bolters are not grenade launchers. They fire bolts designed to penetrate their target and then have a delayed explosion. So, likely, just like real armor-piercing tank rounds, they have a penetrator cap above the explosive charge so that it detonates inside of the target for maximum devastation. Along with its devastating firepower, it's also an extremely sturdy weapon, meaning that you can halo melee whip enemies all day if they happen to close in on you. The roar of the bolters becomes synonymous with certain doom and is widely feared across the
I still love the fact that all bolters have like a 3-inch barrel.
galaxy. And the bolter being the Marine's primary arm,
God, it's
of
so
course
shit.
It has many variants and ammo types. So many that it deserves its own video down the line. But the key ones are the heavy bolter, storm bolter, and bolt pistol. The heavy bolter is a larger variant with a much higher rate of fire and a larger caliber. It's used by Devastator Marines, Scissors of Battle, and Guard heavy weapon teams as a powerful anti-infantry weapon. Then, the bolt pistol is just a bolter but pistol-sized. It usually uses the same bolt caliber but has a lower initial velocity due to the shorter barrel. Although theoretically, due to the gyrojets, it should have a comparable max velocity and range. Although, it's hard to shoot pistols, so that may account for its shorter range in lore and tabletop. But finally, the coolest bolter variant in my opinion, the Storm Bolter. This is the standard weapon of the coolest Space Marine variant in my opinion, the Terminators. Literally just two bolters strapped together, given a stub nose and a humongo mag.
Don't ask how they reload. Don't ask.
They have an extreme rate of fire and are capable of shredding nearly any target and are especially dangerous in close quarters. But even outside close quarters, they excel at suppressing enemy forces as the Terminators make their steady advance. Storm bolters are devastating, but rarely used outside of Terminators and vehicles due to their unwieldiness and extreme ammo consumption. But this doesn't stop some mad.
Yeah, also because you can't aim for shit. It's like wielding a fucking Mac Uzi.
Men from
Uncontrollable
weapons. Badass. But that's all I got for today. There's so many weapons in 40K. I'm sure I missed some,
That was so
comment
good.
them below. If this one
But alright guys, I think I'm gonna call it here for today. Thanks for watching and have a good one. Bye.